I crack myself up constantly. Hello, crime stoppers. I did resting bitch face for the for the screenshot that they do. Oh, I got a few things to cover today. I got this and this. We're gonna dive right in and have some fun. And how you have no idea how much time I even have notes this time. Dear, where to fucking start is what it is today. And then working on this because of course they told us don't study the zodiac. You don't want to know what time it is. Turns out you should probably study the zodiac a little bit. Oh man, so much to cover. Where are we gonna start? Am I gonna do any of it? No, I'm not gonna do any of that. All right. I'm just goofing around waiting for a few people to get here. Oh, look, 3 already. Holy cow. And it's like evening time, like 10 o'clock over there on the East Coast, 6 hours ahead. I know this because I just took a photo reading course and it started at 5 in the morning my time, which was awesome, actually. And my son has had my oldest son has had some amazing results with photo reading. So I'm going to be on the mainland next November in fucking Minnesota. I hate cold. Anybody that knows me knows I don't like the cold. But I'm going to Minnesota to do more photo reading because just a little bit ahead. And we had it done online. Why do we have to do it online? Oh, because, we couldn't be there in person because of the Rona and the governors and mayors and idiots telling you, where you can go, what you can do, how you can travel, and so forth, which is why you need to know this information so we can hold them to account and hold them liable for violating all manner of rights. Let's see here. I don't even know where to start, seriously. Jasher. Book of Jasher. Might be time to look over the Book of Jasher. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Hola. I'm already doing fantastic with this. This is the next elemental coin, according to Jenny Moonstone. And I also did some Safe Moon, and I've already done ridiculous with Safe Moon. Got like a 10 bagger out of Safe Moon, and it's only been a few days. Safe Moon is it had like 6 zeros in front of the numbers. Now it only has 5 zeros in front of the numbers. And I got in. Oh, here, this is wrong. I got in on Safe Moon, and I didn't put a whole bunch of money into that. I put like, $1,000 just for shits and giggles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. So I'm in Safe Moon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at 17, basically. I don't remember what the other two digits were. And it is now, and that was 90. Let's take a quick look and see what it is. It is now, it's gone down. It's okay. Let's see here, 1092. So now it is 10,092,0. All right, so look, it moved over. It's already up. Do you see that play with the decimals. It's going to wind up over here someplace. So it's not even going to be a tenth of a penny, and I'm still going to be making out like a bandit. And years from now, it might actually hit a penny, but many things have to happen. Theta is down right now. If you're going to dump money in Theta, this is now a good time. I bought a bunch at 13, but fortunately I bought a bunch at 65 and 160 something, 169 I think it was, and 299. So my average on Theta is quite happy. Let's see here. And then T-Fuel, 40s. Buy those 40s. And what's Holo doing? I'm in at 106 or something like that, or 105. I can't remember. And it's sitting at 0240. And Holo is HOT is the short, is the coin, if you're looking it up. Anyway, look up Holo. So Theta, Holo, and these other two I'm just dinking with. Focus, people, focus, right? Theta and Theta Fuel is what you want. Safe Moon, and then stake your Theta so you can earn T-Fuel. Safe Moon is a lark as far as I'm concerned. But the Holo is another one where you can get it now at 2 cents, and it will probably go where Theta is now. I don't expect this ever to go into the thousands, but what the fuck will I know? I mean, if you're taking financial advice on crypto from a guy that looks like me, you deserve what you get. Simple as that. But I've had a hot hand lately. I'm just had a hot hand. So anyway, like I said, Safe Moon, looking pretty good. Like I said, I got one less zero than when I got into it. And then the Holo is the next one, according to Jenny Moonstone and Bix Weir. And Bix and Jenny have been dead on so far, so I would pay attention when they talk. All right, one more time. I'm going to stick this over here so you have it. No excuses. And you want to open up the legal maxims. And let's go over the law. Let's see here. Yep, they're him. All right, so here on my little note card, I don't remember what half of this says. Let's see here. Oh, we're not going to cover that now. We're not going to cover that now. All right, yes, let's do some of this. And then, all right, we're just going to do, I said I have so many notes to cover, and the Zodiac, and so much to do. So what would you like to do first? Okay, well, keep up. Clearly now, they put you in school in order to dumb you down, not to wise you up, not to make you smarter. 100 years ago, the 8th grade level was better than our college level. And we now have evidence, and several people have brought it forth, that most people that graduate university now couldn't answer adequately the 8th grade exam out of Kansas, right? Let's see here. So what is it? Oh, this is, so college, this is what you get. You get Sigma Phi nothing. Oh, we're going to go over maxims. So when I have 4-digit numbers up here, those are always going to be legal maxims. When you see 4-digit numbers in my notes, those are going to refer to legal maxims. So like look up 1240 with regard to perjury. Look, I mean, this is where our laws come from. You want to beat these guys? Maxims. So we're going to cover some maxims. 1224, look up that one. The law does injury to no one. That's a key right there. And the maxims are stare decisis. The res judicata has to do with, right, when we're talking about law, the maxims have already been decided. There's no need for adjudication. Now you can go with res judicata that shows cases that exemplify those maxims, you know, like any perjury case, because the law punishes those who lie. Okay. Ins legis. What the hell is that? That's your artificial being, right? Derives existence entirely from law. And we got to talk about law. You better look up law, and you better sit down. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying. You might want to learn Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. I'm done. I didn't do it right. I was out of the thing. But anyway, and then go over and assign the letters so that you know A1, B2, C3, D4, E5, F6, G7, H8, I9, J10, K11, L12, M13, N14, O15, P16, Q17, R18, S19, T20, U21, V22, W23, X24, Y25, Z26. Or the other way around, 1A, 2B, 3C, 4D, 5E, 6F, 7G, 8H, 9I, 10J, 11K, 12L, 13M, 14N, 15O, 16P, 17Q, 18R, 19S, 20T, 21U, 22V, 23W, 24X, 25Y, 26Z. Why would you need to know that? We're going back to kindergarten, is what we're doing. They never taught us this. How come? Let's see here. And then, we're going to go over. We're going to be here for a little while today. And this is every bit as much for me as it is for you, because then I go back and listen to this on 2 times speed and try to find my errors and cement the information that much better. Declarations. You need to do declarations. Yeah. We're going to do Nemo's. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, I'm not doing gematria today or any other day. Probably above my pay grade. Where I was. So you guys distract me. Oh, let's talk about Allah. Oh man, there's so much to talk about. Where am I gonna start? Let's get started. Let's get it started in here. Okay. All right, look, I stay in my purple shirt with the where's the look, get one unicorn on top of me. All right, so let's see here. As above, so below. Oh, who are these guys? Oh, them is the other guys. That's the Ma, that's the sun, that's the moon and star, that's moon and that's the Mason right there. Oh, and there is the Christian, and there are the old gods. That would be Saturn right there. For those of you that missed it. Oh, we're just going to have fun. We're just having fun. Let's see here. I got to spend a lot of time on this one. Oh, let's see. What is that? Oh, that's man is what that is. We can cut that off and maybe it looks more like man to you. But anyway, that's man right there. Let's talk about man. Noble, able master. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because 5 is the number of man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because as above, so below, as below, so above. Let's see here. So what? We got 5, and then we got another 5, and get out of the way. I'll just put you over there. And that's the same thing as 10. And that's the same thing as 1, because that's the man is the first, is the 1. And by the way, first man was the one with the womb. Let's see here. Oh, and this also, so much. See, so much. I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm going to get as, in for a penny and for a pound. Right-hand path, left-hand path. Flip this baby over and you'll notice, take that out. And the ones that are pointing the other way, yeah, that's the other side of it. Anyway, you want to be, oh crap. You want to be, I just got a goddamn pen. What the fuck? You go throw it. Oh, I couldn't hit that again if I tried. There you go. Oops, that's brown. Where's black? It's blue. What the hell? Grabbed the wrong pen. All right. There we go. I did it again. It's these glasses, I think, why the brown look black, but that's not black. That's brown. Well, I got a black one, cause. All right, let's try that one. Yay! All right, there it is. So, and then of course it doesn't write. All right, so right-hand path man as opposed to left-hand path man. You want to be right-hand path man. I can't tell you what to do, but pick the right-hand path. Or the middle road. You can do the middle road, but don't go left-hand path. Just saying. Let's see here. And then we could play around with law. Do we want to play with law? But man, understand, you are a man. You are a son and daughter. You are not a descendant. You are non-decedent. You are the son or daughter of man. Period. Ain't nobody listen to this that isn't the son or a daughter of a man or a woman. So claim the fact that you're the son or daughter of a man or a woman. You're not children. Children is a special artifice word that comes out of statute and gives you legal definition. Further, you're not in legis, but they create an in legis out of that birth certificate, that all caps name. It's an artificial being deriving existence entirely from law. You don't derive your existence from law, technically speaking, unless you mean so much. Bruh, what the fuck is my pen? That's supposed to be a brand new pen right there. Oh, 2 in a row. I'm on. This pen's are new. What the hell? All right, how about you? And then I pick up. I'm getting. All right, how about Harold's purple crayon? Let's go with that. I like it. Except it's kind of almost running out. But anyway, let's start with M. Man. All right, this book right here has at least 4 ciphers. And that, actually, I think this one has 10 ciphers. The Talmud tells you directly that there's 4 ways to read this thing. The word I am looking for, or the term I'm looking for, is on this paper. No, not declarations. The term I'm looking for is written somewhere, and it was codex. Oh, fuck. No. I wrote it down like 3 different places so I would remember. See, that's why I would never make it. I can never be a Mason because I can't remember a fucking thing. There's way too much to remember. And see, these guys, they work their memory until all the stuff that I've got written down, it's in there, and then they can recall it. And then see, at the 3rd degree, they have to stand there for oral examination. Let's see here. Etymology, that's important. How can I wrote it down. Anyway, it's the codex. And there's multiple codexes for this book right here. You can read the codex when it comes to law, which is the one I'm studying the most. You can read this as a codex when it comes to the human body and the 33 vertebrae and the rising of the Christos, and you can read it that way. You can read it as physics, where it describes the universe. You can read it. There's multiple ways to describe to use. You can read it literally. Yeah, Jesus came and he was, walking on water and turning water into wine and freaking 3 loaves and 2 fishes, and he feeds 5,000. Wow, great story. Cool story, bro. Tell me some more. There's a lot of them in here. You can read it that way. You want to read it that way? That's the only way they taught us. Is they didn't tell us what it meant. Oh, and how many? Okay, so when the Christ educates the masses by giving them bread and fishes, because bread and fish doesn't mean what the fuck you thought bread and fish meant. Just the crumbs were enough to fill 12 baskets. What 12 baskets were those? These 12 baskets. And then you got to study what's in each basket. So, like when you study Pisces, there's all kind of information in Pisces. There's all kind of information in Cancer. There's all kinds of information in, and sure enough, Pisces, it's the feet. There's your foundation. That's the fool that's gone around at least one time. Cancer, the crab. Anyway, there's, you know what? I know what to write paper again. Yeah, see, that's why. Okay. hold on. I apparently am premature in my starting of the making of this video because I don't have all my notes. Ah, dear. Okay, maybe I'll just stop and start again if I can't find them quickly. Ooh. All right. Oh, Kabayan. When you're ready, read it, but that is required reading. Hugely important. Yeah, all right, I'll do that one too. Like I said, we're going to be here a little while today. And there's a whole page of notes that I'm missing. I think because my boy took it and was copying it, or was taking notes out of it. And okay, here's something while I'm thumbing around. And I'd like to play this game with you. When you write your documents, you don't want to be an ass. You don't want to create controversy and contest. You don't want to be a negative slave that's constantly saying no, and you can't make me, and I don't consent. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to agree with these motherfuckers if. So here's a power phrase for you. I can find no evidence that, or for, or of. I can find no evidence that you have jurisdiction over the living man. I can find no evidence that the Code of Civil Procedure applies to living men and women. I can find no evidence that my birth certificate, or that I was of the age of majority when the contract called the birth certificate was made for me. I can find, right? You're not saying no. You're not saying I don't consent. You're just saying I can't find any evidence. Now, I'm going to make some claims here, right? I'm claiming these things. I'm claiming that I can't find any evidence that. Okay, you know what? Now you got to try adjust the claim by either providing me evidence that I am the same thing as the in legis, that the living man is not representative of, right? I represent that legal name, that trade or business, that legal fiction, that person, that incorporation. I represent that. I'm not that, but I represent it. I am living man. Okay, so if you get evidence that I'm the corporation, well, freaking provide it, or shut the fuck up. Okay, but we can't speak like that to them. We're going to use lovely words that you know the meanings of, to ask them nicely for evidence of. If they can't provide it, okay, because he who affirms, and we've covered this, right? That's why you got to know your maxims. It is he who affirms that must provide proof, not he who denies. But I'm not even denying. I'm just asking. I'm staying on my square. I'm not calling you a liar, even though you fucking are. And if I go so far as to even say something that crazy, then it's fraudulent conveyance of language. Right? You can't call him a liar. And that was explained to me by a clerk of a court. You're probably not even going to call him a perjurer. Whew. But I get so much nonsense I hear I like share with you guys, but only so many hours in a day. Ooh. Did I put it there? All right. So anyway, how about you guys write some stuff over here? I can find no evidence of. Right? Or I can find no evidence that I need a license to travel. I can find no evidence that. And then try write something over there instead of just stuff that distracts me. I can find no evidence that. The Code of Civil Procedure. Oh, I already did that one. I can find no evidence that you have jurisdiction over the living person. I can find no evidence that these contracts are valid. I can find no evidence that I am party to this Constitution. They are, though. They've sworn an oath to uphold and protect it. So so what do? You accept their oath, and then you hold them to their oath. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Right, I bet you my son took it. That's okay though, because he's had. There goes declarations again. Oh man. Oh, and it's Easter. Happy Feast of Easter. You might want to figure out who Easter is, and Book of Ruth would be a good book to read. But this is the biggie. This is the one where they tell you about Passover and killing that trustee, putting an X through him, putting a cross, hanging it right, and then claiming your thing. And then after 3 days, you are resurrected into the life everlasting, getting out from under the horror of Babylon. This is the metaphor. If you want to believe a story, and you can, and a lot of people do, that there was a guy that got nailed to a cross, which can be in the astrology. If you read it with the astrology cipher, that has definite meaning about and why it's December 25th and why it's Easter. Anyway, being hung on the cross. But anyway, if you want to believe that it was an actual guy that got nailed to a cross, yeah, them naughty Romans, absolutely. And you can't make friends with the Romans. No try. Don't even try it. It's the Romans that are offering us. And if you want to try to make friends with these guys, you're going to be in trouble. Simple as that. Some words you should know. Let's go over that. All right. Yes, it's not here. Okay. Where that went, I don't know. So I'm missing a whole page of notes that I wanted to go over today. Not there. Oh, could be right here. And it is. Yeah, there you go. All right. So, understand some words. These are important. Oh, and by the way, the thing that you're going for is your birthright, and your birthright can neither be bought nor sold. So, somebody that tells you, like me, for example, if I were to tell you, "Oh, I'll write your documents for a fee," that would be you selling your birthright. You can't do it. In the Matrix, what did he say? All I can do is show you the door. You got to walk through. How are you walking through? On your papers, right? Your testimony. What is the blood of the Lamb? That's how you defeat the Satan. What does it say in that book of Revelations? It says, oh, we got so much to cover. It says the way they beat the Satan was with the blood of the Lamb and their testimony. And that's how you do it. Okay, but that doesn't mean what you think it means. What's the Lamb? That third eye. All right, so etymology. The codex. See, and there is multiple ways to cipher this. And frick, I didn't write it on that. Okay, now I'm upset because I found it, but it still doesn't have. I wrote it on there because I want to make it correct, but it's the Codex Symbiology or something like that, and I can't remember it. But basically, what it means is you got to know your signs and symbols, and you got to know which way you're reading it. So you can read it under 4 different codexes. This is a... But it's even got numbers, so you got to know it's a code book, right? Every page, it's a code book. And you had to know the code. And if you didn't know the code, you didn't understand that wine could be the same as blood. And now they use the term wine for do I not have new fucking pens? There you go, for God's sakes. Wine, adreno, right? And then what? Chrome. Yeah. So when they're talking about expensive wines, $8,000 a bottle, and you're thinking it's a big bottle, that would be one hell of a lot of adrenochrome. Oh, and look at this. Look what I have. I was going to do the unboxing, but I couldn't stand it. This came so cool. I'm like a squirrel. Oh, look. I highly recommend DMSO, as you know. But yeah, this was as cool as it comes, right? Here's my box. I open it up. Boom. No way to break this bottle. And it's pure DMSO. This is your Cadillac DMSO. Anyway, you got to know the words. And we'll talk about DMSO in a minute. But the fact that a lot of the code words are hidden in there. And then a lot of the words like man and Islam, for example. I, self, law, am master. Those are that, right? Man, noble, able master. And what does the code book do? The code book, that yucky thing out of there, the code book talks about the transformation, and so does the Kabayan, right? How you progress from man to God. Okay. God might not think, I've got like backwards language going on here. Okay. It's like audio dyslexia. Anyway, that word might not mean what you think it means. Certainly you're not going to transform into the creator of everything. You're not going to become the all. But yet you're going to become the all. But then you're going to start walking around like an idiot saying, I'm God. Yeah, but no. Right? You're part of it. So let's talk about the G-O-D that has so much controversy attached to it. Is there a God? There is no God. Nietzsche said God is dead. Oh, well, okay. God. Well, let's look at this. This is G for, okay, so now we got to have some understanding of, this is the 7th Hermetic principle, gender, generation, but it doesn't mean sex. It doesn't mean boy, girl. Well, it does, but it doesn't. It means generation. It takes boy, girl to generate. Genesis, gender. Creation, generate. Fool around this, we'll take off of generate. Chi. Inner chi. Oh, energy. Oh no. Lots of different kinds of chi out there that we think it's G, but it's inner chi. And you generate inner chi. I may have written it down because I knew I was going to do this. Oh God, that's all politics. Yeah. symbology, but that's not it. Oh yeah, symbol chi, right? The energy of symbols, symbology. Let's see. The Lord contrive all things with symbol. So you kind of sort of got to know your symbols, because first was sound, vibration, frequency and vibration. Then were symbols for those sounds. Then came words. All right. So there's so many more cheese, and I can't think of them at the moment. Because why? The camera stay on. That's why. That's why I got to write everything down. Otherwise, I forget everything. Because some kind of stress happens to my brain, and I can't concentrate and bring back the information that should be easily to, if the camera wasn't on, I would easily recall it for you. But you have to understand that all is mind. It's all mental, and all the transmutation takes place in the mind. But let's go here. All right. So then what? God. And then, okay. So this three things is one thing, right? Operation. So operating. So generation, and then operation. And then what? So you create the thing, and then you use the thing, and then you destroy the thing. Generation, operation, destruction. Okay, let's go off to the east. Over in the east, and we're going to take a little trip down to India, where there are Indians. They live in heaven. What does Indian mean? Anyway, so that whole continent is Indian. Indians believe in Brahma, the generator, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, the operator of that creation, and Shiva, the destroyer. It's the same freaking story, people. There's only one of us here. Now, the deceivers make it so that those people that believe this way as opposed to that way, where this is one God and this is three gods, but even they say that those three gods are one thing. Oh, you guys got to fight. Right? And what do? Also, these deceivers, they gave us, I'm not done here yet, but they gave us three religions, which I went over at the very beginning. These guys, and these guys. Notice it's all the same thing. What is it? It's the Hermetic. It's the Kabbalion. It's the Hermetic principles. It's the foundation. There's where our law comes from. There's where our maxims. I'm going to read some of the lexes coming up here. But we're not done with God, are we? Because you'll see most often with these guys, it's always three things. That's one thing. And it's always 3, 6, and 9. Let's see here. Oh, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Let's see here. I mean, and then you can do that those three constantly. 3 is 1, the 3 people, the me, myself, and I. It's one thing. So see, they make you think that it's 3 different things, but it's just one thing. And let's, for example, the 3 crowns, right? The crown temple and all that. The first crown is Italy. The second crown is London, City of London. The third crown is Washington, D.C. But it's one freaking thing, right? It's one crown. Oh, let's talk about the crown for just a second. He had a crown. What is that? Well, that's the law, is what that is. And what that is. Oh, and by the way, and I got that exactly backwards because law is God and God is law. But God comes before the law. So belongs over here. All right. So law. There it is. All right. There's the 3 crowns: land, air, and water. There's the 3 points. I mean, on the crown. And I hope you see. Oh, let's use other colors. Nope. How about you? Or you? You guys can. Oh yeah, there you go. Lovely. There's that W in the law. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Let's skip over that. But I'm telling you, symbol is so important. And they didn't teach us the symbols. They didn't teach us anything. So painful. How painfully silly we are and thinking that we're educated and actually not. All right, so here are some words for you. And etymology, man. Get to that etymology dictionary online and throw parts into it so you understand, like juris and diction and jurisprudence and so on. Let's see here. What's some good words to be aware of? See, because I gave you the 300 that you should look up. Let's see. Present, important one. Present. Law. Duress. Ecclesiastical. Artifice. Right? Because we have words of artifice governing us. Words of artifice. Words of art. Brand. That's kind of important. In Legis, of course. Study the Book of Ruth, but that's not. Oh, special. There you go. Look it up. I mean, like, look it up in the law dictionary, right? Special court, special judge, special fund doctrine, special agency, special bastard, special contracts, special purpose contract, special. Just what do that word mean? So when you see it in law, or when you see it when they're trying to, and it's not law, it's freaking statute. I can find no evidence that the statutes apply to the living man, unless by contract. If you sign a contract or you swear an oath, and you're right, the statute merchants now have jurisdiction over you, able to speak law to you, the law that they wrote. But otherwise, they're not allowed to write bills of attainder, because the Constitution says no can write one bill of attainder. Cause it says it right there in the Constitution. But we got so fucking ignorant, we didn't know what a bill of attainder was. So, what's a bill of attainder? Well, that means they can't just suddenly say, oh, when you're in your conveyance of the day, if you're not wearing a seatbelt, you have to give us money. They can't do that. They do it all the time, but they're not supposed to. While you are traveling. Okay, that's a fundamental right. So they can't attach things to your fundamental right. They do it all the time. Hey, you gotta do. You gotta pull a license plate on top there. and some stickers. Otherwise, you got to pay us money. You go to court, and you don't know any better, and you pay them money. That's a bill of attainder. Did a jury decide, or did some judge who's working for the private corporation that has the policy with guns and clubs? It's fucking genius when you get right down to it. Get you to sign a form that makes you defendant. Now you are in the system. You have consented. And the statutes apply. So understand the Roman Curio. Understand the term unum sanctum. This is what they're doing. See, the missionary work of the bar is not to, they are, and not all the whole system, not everybody in the system knows they're in the system. That's why you only need a few people to run the system. But their missionary work is not what you think. Their missionary work is to confuse. Understand, who do they serve? They serve Satan, the Satan. So everything's the opposite of what they tell you. They're not there to educate. They're there to dumb you down. Most of us could not pass the 8th grade test back in 1895. Oh, I'll put the video down. You can watch it. That's going to... Wait, I'll put it right here now. No. I've watched it like 3 times, by the way. Is this the one? Yes, this is the one. Okay. So, let's put it over here. Okay. Go check them now. Go click that right now and then save it and watch it later. And basically he goes over orally some questions that were on an 8th grade test, and he talks about the whole talk was on the fact that the law does injury to no one. But the idea is this ministry is not doing what you think it's doing. It's there to dumb you down. It's there to miseducate. It's there to deceive you. It's there to lie to you. It's there to take your money. It's there to swindle you. It's there to deceive you into giving them your money, your labor. They're deceivers, liars, cheaters. Look at the planet. They've been in control for about 1,600 years now. Oh, wait, wrong. 16, 24, 2,000, right? 24 centuries, basically. One full turn, right? The Piscean age. Well, not one full turn, 30. What I said and what I meant is not the same thing. This one? Yeah, okay. So here it is. It took me forever to get this thing right because they even show it to us incorrectly. So we can't even, all right. This is the Santos Benanacci or Benacini or whatever his name is, talks about this. But you'll see old maps with this on there. And then see what they do is they flip it over and make the whole thing. But so this is where we start in Aries. And as we go around in time, we're going this way. And this is Pisces. And from Pisces to Aquarius is where we are right now. So we have gone one full turn. But the this is about 2,000 years. Actually, about 2,400 years. If you want to know exactly, take 360, which is the total degrees in a circle, not 365, but 360. And multiply by 72. And you'll get a fun number. But the idea is that about, and you can see I put little dots here. if you go back in time and study, you'll see that the big earth changes happen every time we go from Pisces to Aquarius, and every time we go from uh, Virgo to Leo. Leo is still associated with the sun because apparently that was a really big solar sneeze back then. And each one of these basically counted as 2,000 years. It's not, because it's 2,500, 920. But, and you got to divide that by 12. And then you get each one of these. And anyway, we just came out of this age where these freaking demons have been ruling the whole time. And now we're moving into the age of Aquarius. And in the age of Aquarius is the enlightenment, the waking up, which is why they go and try to kill off as many of us as possible right now. Because this 100 monkey effect is a thing. The more people that know a thing, the more people that know a thing. So you want to put on the armor of God. What is the armor of God? The armor of God is not breastplate or or Kevlar. The armor of God is knowledge. What is the sword of God? The sword of God is law. Okay, you not can swing the sword if you know more knowledge. No sense. So, if you go back over to Law's Corner, Kirk's Law Corner, the first link I put up there, there is the treatise on arrest and imprisonment. Read the fucking thing. And then you got to be able to stand on your square. All right, so, and see, the transformation takes place in your mind from man to God. It's a mental transformation. And see, they accept the Antichrist. Like, no kidding, they accept the Antichrist. And one of the things the Antichrist promises you is wealth. Therefore, riches is not evidence of good works. Doesn't mean it wasn't, but it is not evidence of good works, because the devil promises his servants wealth. Am I lying to you? Okay. So the idea being here is you got to armor up first. Okay, so at least you can do defense so that when the slings and arrows come, you can defend yourself, and the slings and arrows will come. But if you are armored up with knowledge of the law and the basic principles, you can withstand those slings and arrows easily. Then, should you so choose to not turn the other cheek, you can use the law to get those people that were throwing slings and arrows at you to stop throwing slings and arrows at you. Pretty simple. Okay, again, I'm not talking about slings and arrows, and there aren't any swords. God. But the 100 monkey told me to put some armor on and go swing a sword. I did not. Let's see here. I'm not even... Okay, Book of Ruth. Book of Ruth. Got to read the Book of Ruth. They are ruthless. And it's not a joke. They are absolutely ruthless. And what is ruthless? They are without... and here you can even see I put some hearts there. They're without heart. Ruth, the mother. Ruth. Read Ruth. And then Esther. We are celebrating Esther right now. And the resurrection, all in one lovely holiday. But understand, the Passover is you quit claiming. Right? That's symbolism for you quit claiming certain things. Let's see here. Ooh, let's get to that. That's gonna be fun. See, and so becoming a god, that's not quite what you might think. You have mastery over self, and that's about it. You're not the creator of the universe, but you're part of the creation because you're part of the all. But that doesn't, right? What is it? It's the universe in a drop, but you're a drop in the universe. All right. Anyway, these paradoxes. But the next thing you know, you got people that are studying this, and they're out on the street claiming to be Jesus. It's like, oh man. All right, you get help, but see, there isn't any, really. All right, so where am I going to go? There's so many places to go. Let's talk about Ishtar. This is. Ooh, do I have those notes? These are dangerous notes. Because what that basically is, code name is ISIS. And this is one of the ways we celebrate this feast. But it's the Feast of Ishtar. So if you learn about her three names, Esther, all right, we'll do this. We'll make it fun. There's where you get your ISIS. The third one is silent. See, it's not what's there, it's what they leave out. Is one of their paradoxes. And if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you don't know what was left out or what it means. All right, so there's. Oh, look, that's lovely, isn't it? That's Ishtar. And then there's with the H. And there's a whole thing about that H, but let's just. But then it turns to Ishtar, right? Instead of Ishtar. And then there's Isvara. Same chick. Same idea. Same consciousness. It's the Eastern Star. And we're celebrating the Eastern Star. We're also celebrating the resurrection if you're a Christian. See, because again, there's only the three, right? So let's skip that. Go find out this knowledge for yourself, and then you'll know what I'm leaving out, which is just as important as what you put in. I'll give you, yeah. Not much is fun. Okay. See, it's like playing, what's that game? Or what was that movie? It was the code, the Da Vinci Code. There you go. This is like Da Vinci Code, except it's freaking for real. It's the greatest thing. And what you want to do is get out from under the Whore of Babylon. And the code is everywhere. So you got to know the code. And if you don't know the code and you don't understand what the words mean, and you don't understand the concept of, what is it? It's a connotative linguistics. So you think God means one thing when actually they're using it and it means another. You think person means one thing when in fact it means another. Men can be persons, but not all persons are men. You see? But they make you think that you know what the words mean. And we don't. And they use that and grammar against us. So the point is to start knowing what the words mean. And a couple of videos back, I believe I gave you 300, and those came directly from Patrick Devine, not from me. And those 300 should lead to more. But property, huge word to understand. Equity, huge word to understand. So many that, I mean, just have huge, huge meaning. Oh, yes, let's do it. It's time. So we talk about Christians, we talk about Muslims, those Moors, they are Masons, for sure. The Masonic knowledge comes from the Moors. And the one that they associate with most is that one. Oh, it's 5 again. Allah loves wondrous diversity. What does Allah? Arm, leg, arm, head. Arm, leg, arm, head. Arm, leg, arm, head. We're having some fun now, kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, it's still going to be the number of men. What was the number of men? 5. As above, so below. Keeping up with me here, right? Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the understanding of self. And see, all of them talk about the contemplation of self and understanding self. Because everything, there isn't any out there, it's all in here. I can't explain this stuff any better than they can. I got to use their words because that's all we have. There it is, finally, the Codex Inscriptus. You got to know the Codex Inscriptus. Which one are you doing? Are you doing the literal translation Inscriptus? Okay, that's like I said, that's the only thing they ever give the slaves is literal translation, right? That they never tell you what it means. They never tell you about the symbology of it. So the Codex Inscriptus is important to understand. See, and you never want to say, those of you who are descendants of slaves, you're not going to declare yourself a descendant of slaves. That's them, right? And then they got you thinking, see, because I'm going to declare myself a descendant of slaves, and that means I get reparation. No. How about you declare yourself the son or daughter of man? Oh, one of the living. Not a descendant, not a decedent, a non-decedent, a living thing. Am I making sense? I hope I'm making some sense. Because sometimes I watch my own videos and I'm just like, they don't get it. And then here again, repeatedly across this thing, one thing is 3 things. One thing is 3 things. Okay, so this thing right here is 3 things. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, right? Because you're transforming into the understanding of God. Me, myself, and I. This is why when you sign, you have to signs and seal and deliver, and then understand your original documents have to have a seal on there, and the copies should have the abbreviation LS. Go look it up on Google. Will even show you that LS legal or LS legal definition, or LS is abbreviation. Anyway, it basically means there's the symbol. That's where this is where the seal was, right? Signed, sealed, delivered. You have to seal your documents. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean to close them up. You have to seal them. And they used to use sealing wax. Had nothing to do with the sealing. Had to do with the fact that you sealed the document with a ring or something. But if your document going to be official, got to get seal on top. Go look any document. Go look your birth certificate. Go look any document that's quote unquote official. Oh, look, here's one. Oh, the creation of an Eligius, known a complete fiction. But look, the seal. Get a seal. So when I copy this, it's not going to copy this gold. So I have to put an LS there. Right? That's where the seal is. Here lies the seal. All right. So the Muslims, the Islam, the Moors, this is them. The moon and star, the May sun, the star, the there's lots of words, synonyms, but the idea is that that's their symbol. That tells you that they are Islam. And Islam doesn't probably mean what you think it means. And see? Fail, because I got to look at a piece of paper. Whereas you're supposed to just know it. Let's see here. I, self, law, am master. Oh, and look how you write the I. I, self, law, am master. Islam has many other meanings, but that's one. But see, that I, right? Is man. Oh, and you know what? No, right on me. Okay. See, my writing's so sad because that's how they taught me to write as a slave. Anyway, man, right? Islam. Or you can come off of this the Christian way, right? And there are plenty of Moors that are Christians, because what is that? That's just Christ Jesus telling you how to get out from under the whore of Babylon and this bonding system, using code, parable, symbol, metaphor, allegory, right? Any way he could to try to get you fucking slaves to set yourselves free from this bonding system. Wake up. Okay. I mean, am I making sense? Anyway, so that's why you got to know the code, so you can know the law. And that's the fundamental law, the common law that's based on these books. So there's this book. What is that? That's the Quran. The Christian book. What is that? That's the Bible. The Jewish book. What's that? That's the Talmud. It's the same three things because it's one thing. And they got you fighting, and like really fighting. And I mean, a lot of time, I mean, even this guy's they got him fighting. Oh, we're Catholic. Oh, we're Protestant. Right? I mean, fuck. They got, I mean, like I said, how many ponies they got? They only got, right? They only got 4 ponies. And they use them so fucking effectively against us. What's the pony? The pony is divide and conquer. So they divide this up. And then what? They got the Islam guys. They got them cut into. Oh, you Sunni. Oh, we Shiite. Fuck you. No, fuck you. Ah. Fucking pissed off at each other for so fucking long they don't even know why they're fighting, half of them. Perfectamundo. Kill each other, slaves. Kill each other. Don't look at us. It's horrific. This fuckers. Wake up, you motherfuckers. Wake up. All right. And then what? The Jews, same thing. They got them guys fighting with each other. And I don't remember the name of it. What is the name of it? It's the old Jews against the new Jews. I don't know. I mean, fuck. And then, then we got these guys fighting with those guys and these guys. Oh, so we got so many fights going on and we don't ever notice the fact that we're all just one thing. And the Khazarian mafia is who gave us these fucking 3 versions of the same damn story. And then made each one of us think that ours was the best version of the story. So we kill each other. Get organized. And we've been doing it for centuries. Over the first of the 7 hermetic principles, which is mentalism. My God is better than your God. It's the same God because there's only one of them. Come on, it's funny or else you got to cry. Right? And finally, some of us are waking up. Wait a second. We're not even from here. Anyway, we're not going there, but I mean, fuck. Dear. Come on. But I mean, it's one thing. It's one story. It's the same story. It's the transformation. All of them. The Mormons talk about it, right? They get a little carried away with it, but I'm good with it. It's the same story. It's the transformation. And how to do it. And you can read that 3 different ways. Right? From there ain't but 2 of us here. Right? We come in 2 flavors on this planet. Well, that's not. I don't want to associate it this way. Let's do it this way. We'll do it like that. There you go. As above, so below. If you want to know a little bit more, the whole quote is, what's above is like what's below. What's below is like what's above. Until the master becomes the slave and the slave becomes the master. Okay, we come in 2 flavors. And we can go with, if you don't like master, how about free man? If you don't like slave, how about bonded free man? Okay, so we have bonded freeman and freeman. That's it. That's the only, there's nothing in between. Except for these freaking Indians that codified the whole transformational process where you go from untouchable to godlike. Right? And they had their whole caste system. And they fucked the whole story up. For 1,000 years under the direction of demons. I'll never admit they were demons, but anyway, posing as the good guys. We're so silly. It's one big alien ant farm. And they set up systems of enslavement. And the most potent, what is more? Who are you going to kill more with? This one. This is passe already. So now, these shots used to be, little pieces of lead, right? Now these shots are these people afraid of a thing that in children has a 99.7% survival rate. Yet they're putting masks on them. And they're getting it's red. Make it blood red. You know what that's supposed to depict, don't you? Right? And they're doing it to themselves because they got control of their minds. It's freaking crazy. Now, I got bad news. We lost this part of the war. But then I got good news. Because it's all for our benefit. This whole thing is for our benefit. It can't be bad. It feels bad in the moment, though, for sure. But the number was 100 million. Just so happens that's how many doses they're going to put out there, and that's what they're going for. They went for 100 million doses, and by God, they got them. 100 million different doses. I mean, because out of these 100 million, there's like 35 million that have gotten all 3 shots. Go look their own pages from Pfizer, from AstraZeneca, from Johnson & Johnson. Go read what they say about this thing. What they're saying about this thing. This is the operating system, and these two are software. What? They reprogramming your DNA. What? They tell you right in there. That's what they're doing. Supposedly for your benefit. I got some bad news. Okay, so because with guns and bullets, you know how much it would take to kill 100 million Americans with bullets and bombs? I mean, holy crap. And besides, this way is better. The infrastructure will still be there. They're playing Art of War. What you're seeing is Art of War on the nation-state level. If you haven't read Art of War, go read Art of War and understand that this is what's going on. And the Art of War guys got out of warred by our military. And the 100 million was acceptable losses. Got bad news. And then I got worse news than that. We lost this part. You ain't going to get them back. Too late. They accepted. They consented. They lost control of their minds. You're not going to help. Predictions are 4 months to 10 years for termination. Especially the older ones. Their 75-year contract having been up, and their 40-year bonds, my bonds have matured. They have been mature since 2004. Nobody getting nothing out of that right now because they're not gaining any more interest. They're mature. It's over. Nobody's claimed them because they don't have the DC on me yet, which allows them to eventually claim those bonds. DC would be the death certificate. But anyway, the 75-year contract. So, how come everybody getting the Rona is over 75? Yeah, because they know they come claiming their bonds if they find out this information. They're here to deceive you. They're here to steal from you. They're here to extract as much wealth from you as can over the entire lifetime. And now they got it all. They literally have it all. How do they do it all? by issuing paper, by boxing you up with paper, by issuing bonds, and anyway, they turned paper. Paper. Wait. What's the? Yes, I get one right here. I get one right here. Sorry. Take a look at this piece of paper. Who are the May's sons? The sons of who? May, the widow, the black widow, the spider. They're the sons of the widows. The Masons. The bad ones, not the good ones, by the way. There's two kinds. They come in two flavors also. That's the web. That tells you that you're using, this is the web. You're caught in this web. This is a piece of paper. I can trade this piece of paper. Well, not anymore. But I can trade, they say on paper, they say I can trade 25 of these for one of these, but try and get one of these for 25 of these. No, you need more like 47 or so of these on most exchanges to get one of these, because this is just paper. But what they've done is made it so that they've turned this paper into real estate. They've turned this paper into, I mean, they own everything because of the paper. And now I've made entire videos about this. What started me in this whole fucking thing was when they called Ron Paul a racist, and I just was incensed because, dude, I got pictures with Ron Paul. I mean, he had a lot of things, but racist isn't one of them. What did he do to Trump? Well, Trump's a racist. Worked with Ron Paul. Didn't work so well with Trump because people wisen up. You guys are waking up. The waking up process is slow, right? It's not everything at once. If I dump everything at once on you, it's like a fire hose, and you can barely handle all this stuff because I'm, as you notice, have the attention span of a squirrel because there's so much information that I want to get out there, and I can't figure out where to start and how to put it all together. Because anyway, the Masons took this Babylonian money magic. Who are the Babylonians? The Venetians, the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians got to this place called Venice. Venice, Phoenicia, Venice. Okay, Venice. It's in Italy. There are 13 bloodline families, blood-sucking slavers, infected the Romans, and how. And the Romans colonized the planet using the same plan. Okay. John Cabot, an enterprising Venetian from Venice, who happened to be living in London, was given some land over in the... Okay. The Phoenicians, once again, the Venetians, the black nobility, they have a lot of names, but you can learn the family names if you look up the black nobility and edit that out mentally. Like, yeah, that's probably a bad idea. Like I said, there's nobody listening, but there is AI that picks up sounds, and those sounds would probably go, what's that guy talking about? Anyway, so the Venetians, they know about the old world, the new world, because they're not fooled. They descend from Egypta, because they got from Babylon, Phoenicia to the what's called the Holy Land, into Egypt, up to Greece, over to Venice. I mean, just look at who, what, where, when, follow the family histories, the bloodlines, and so forth going through there. Okay. So they knew about the thing over there in the Americas, and they wanted a piece of it. We're talking, what are we at? We're in the 1400s, thereabouts, 1400s. Oh, crap. So what do? In the York Rite cult section of the colonies, and the York Rite cult, New York, from the York of the one in Britain, the York Rite cults, Mormons, Jehovah Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists. Anyway, the New York. From there, I mean, go look at the Mormons, where they came from, right? Upstate New York. The Phoenicians set up a bank there, Bank of Italy, and jumping around in time, but the Bank of Italy, and then over time, because they want a piece of the action, how are they going to get a piece of the action? They're going to do the paper money wild thing. Okay, do the fiat currency, do the debase the gold, do the fractional reserve banking, do the thing where they loan interest, do the usury wild thing. Okay, but then there becomes a thing about immigrants from Italy, and they're all mafia and so on, blah 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 blah. So they decide, well, we don't want to be called the Bank of Italy anymore. We're going to change our name to the Bank of America. They ain't hiding. Go look. Go check. Fact check me. Fact check me. You'll find the names of the families. Anyway, the point being is the brotherhoods are ruling this thing. Those are the bankers, the banksters, and they are the quote-unquote deep state. They are the power behind the throne. They control the currency. They are of one family or another when it comes to the brotherhoods. They have their signs and symbols so that you'll know who, well, they know who each other is, whereas we slaves have no freaking idea what we're looking at. But anyway, and look all the symbology on this. Now you go look at this thing with new eyes. Oh my God, everything's there. It's all there. It's all there for you. And then get one of them super duper magnifying glasses and go look for Baal, because Baal is on this right here. And see, the Baal guys or and this is what we want to be, by the way. Wow, I can't read that. Can't see because of the sun. Holy cow. It was, see? And you wonder why I wear these things. Anyway, because it's Hawaii and it's bright. And then, anyway. So, because you can go back if you want to see what I look like without the sunglasses on, or these glasses. These are pinhole glasses. There's plenty of video like that, but I mean, it became stressful to me. Eye strain, the amount of time I spend on this stupid computer. Anyway, Baal, the bad guys. This is see, because they darken everything, they demonize, they fuck up everything they touch, they bastardize whatever it is. This is bad. But what's the symbol for owl? The owl. Oh, these guys, the Muslims, the Islams, they Baal, and it's wisdom, it's knowledge that they're looking at. But this is the light knowledge, and this is the dark knowledge. It's all split in two, right? And it's the same guy, right? Three things. There's one thing. Two faces of the same guy. The evil guy and the good guy. Don't worship the evil guy. Worship the good guy. Right? And don't even worship. Get right down to it. Just go get the knowledge. Worship is not the right word. Right? And you get the knowledge of Bay and El. So you'll see guys that call themselves in the Moorish nation Bays or Els or Baals. Right? I put the link to that Tariq Jonah Bay. So anyway, yeah, you want to armor up with knowledge. So the knowledge of not the dark knowledge, the good knowledge, the knowledge of law. Let's go there now. Okay, legal maxims. Also important. I cannot stress enough how important this is. The legal maxims, that's the basics in law. And see, and then you take the legal maxims and then you square them against the Hermetica, right? The 7 fundamental laws. Right? We're starting at the foundation. And see, once you learn these things, writing your letters will make it a whole lot easier, and they'll understand that, yeah, you took some time to educate yourself in ways that they never would have educated you. They want you being confused about your person. They want you running down the sovereignty road. I'm a sovereign. That means I'm above the law. No one is beyond the law. The king is not beyond the law. In fact, the law makes the king. That's a maxim. Right? So you got to, who are you? Which is kind of important. Right? So you got to declare who you are. Well, you're a living man. Where were you born? That's kind of important too. And then what do you want to do? You can sign the contracts. You can stay in the corporation. Nobody telling you not to. Right? Certainly don't be taking legal advice from a guy that looks like me. Please. That's like ridiculous. I know a lot of people are like, I don't mind being part of the corporation. All right. I do. So I need to understand all of their rhetoric, their laws, their codes and statutes, and what they mean. I can find no evidence that the codes and statutes apply to the living man. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right, but they don't consider you a living man because you've told them that you're a U.S. person, or you've told them that you're the dead thing, you're the corporate person, you're the corporation. You've told them this. So now you got to tell them, no, I'm not dead. I'm non-decedent. You moved. Where did you move? You moved here. But just like if you have a credit card and you move house, you let them know your new address because you moved. Okay, you moved. You moved from, well, I'm not going to do that. Where'd you move? You moved from the dead to the living. You moved from black to white. The squares, the checkerboard, the Mason's squares. Yeah. You moved from, where'd you move? You moved here. Oh, by the way, I'm non-decedent. I'm informing you that I moved. Right? I realized that you have made some presumptions with regard to my person. Okay, so now we got to separate the two. But you're not going to tell them this. You're going to ask them questions. Because otherwise they're going to say, oh, this guy's crazy. So I can find no evidence that you are the same thing as your trade or business. That name. You're authorized to represent that name. But see, you got to put it in your own words. And just ask the questions. And make the claims and declarations that you're a man or a woman. That you're living. That's the move that you've made. And that's what you're informing them of. Again, this thing mightier than the sword. Because why? It represents the thought, the will. Right? And what they've done is put their will, legislation, on paper. Right? That's the code. That's the statutes. Right? What are the statutes? That's the will of the legislature. Right? And they are statute merchants. They sell us their statutes. And we have specifically stated in our Constitution, you can't write bills of attainder, and they do it all the time. Because we don't understand their words of art. It's an artifice. Those words don't mean what you think they mean. All right, so covered that. Oh, right is three things. Okay, so right is one thing. But that one thing is made up of three things. Right? So understand. Legally, what we're talking about. I know my rights. The fuck you do. And then rights. Okay, so that is three things. And this is according to its own, I mean, it's in the maxims. We're going to get there in a second. There's that word again. Telling you, property. Could do a whole 3 hours just on that one word. You do it yourself. Bore you to death otherwise. What's 9/10 of the law? Right? Posse. As opposed to essay. Whatever. Possession. Wow, look at spell. Because I went slave school. And I specifically thought that part was stupid. Now I understand. Oh my God, they should have been teaching me etymology. No. Because I love words. I love the sound of words. I can't spell to save my life because I didn't pay attention at all. In fact, I got kicked out of class most of the time. Anyway, possibility. Possession is 9/10. Property, possession, possibility. That's, rights. It's these three things, but it's that one thing. Those three things are the one thing. Okay. And why we're going to go over a maxim is because lex, then this is what we're going to do. The law does injury to no one. So go read 1224. And then lex, these are the maxims of law, right? And maxims, that's right. Stare decisis comes from the maxims, and then res judicata is example of the stare decisis. But it all comes back to the maxims. So get to the fundamentals. Keep the main thing the main thing. You can spend all your life in the statutes because they've made so many of them. I mean, just USC 26. I mean, how many pages is that now? I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of what? They're baffling you with bullshit? Come back to the fundamental law. Get out from under the horror of Babylon. Understand that USC 26 is not positive law. It does not apply to everybody anyway. I can find no evidence of. I can find no evidence that USC 26 is positive law. Therefore, it applies to a special class of people, which is why I said learn the word special, of which I am not part. And your I is the lowercase I. And you've identified that I is man, a living man, not a dead thing, over which you claim authority and the ability to offer because you say that I have consented to your agreements, which I have not, because I was not of age of majority when the fucking birth certificate was made in the first fucking place. But you're going to say it nicely. Okay. Oh. But see, you don't know your rights. You can't claim your rights. And they're easily taken away from you. But you have so many rights, you can't write them all down. So you might want to claim some rights, in particular, but not, not including, but not limited to. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Time. It's time. Because Brad, it's going to be long. Legal maxims, starting on page 143. The safety of the people is the supreme law. To do violence to ambassadors is contrary to the law of nations. Might want to read Law of Nations. 1165. A legacy is confirmed by the death of the testator, as much as a gift from a living person is by delivery alone. And then you start to see that these maxims have corollaries and other maxims that match up with them, like Nemo's that'll match up with this and so forth. I mean, the study of this was supposed to take you a while, but you were supposed to know this stuff. And they made sure you never even heard of the maxims. How are you going to be a moral people if you don't know the law? And what is law? Law is God. And you thought it was some guy in the sky on a throne saying, you good, you bad. All right, one definition, but the other law and the other, right? God is law, the other understanding of how to deport yourself with your fellow man and stay on your square and do the right thing, not the left thing. Anyway, an ambassador fills the place of the king by whom he is sent, and it is to be honored as he whose place he fills. There's a whole Shakespeare play about that. This maxim right here is played out in front of you in. Geez, which one is it? Henry VIII, Henry V? Crap, can't remember. It's there. Anyway, Shakespeare. Giving you legal maxims in play form. The contract makes the law. Man, you got to know your law of contracts. Contract law. Get the contract law for dummies and read the damn thing. Those who do not keep the law of the land thence justly incur the perpetual brand of infamy. The laws of England, I'm going to read these, even though they're the laws of England, because ours is the common law and it descends from the English law, but ours is not the English law. However, there are people here who are Canadians and Aussies and Britons that this still is in effect. Because the law doesn't change over time. Right? It's the foundation. The statutes change over time. And you can make new law, but anyway, let's just stick to the point where this is law. The laws of England are threefold: common law, customs, and decrees of Parliament. 3 kinds. Laws and constitutions are made to give form to future transactions and may not be referred to matters already past and terminated. Laws and constitutions are made to give form to future transactions and may not be referred to matters already past and terminated. So yeah, our Constitution was from 1776 onward. This is the law of the land. And this law of the land is reflective of the common law, that all of these rights that are listed here and all of these things are protected by this Constitution. They are ordained and confirmed. They are not created by. The Constitution affirmed your rights. And that those who would be in this government or even in these corporations would affirm your rights and uphold the Constitution and the articles thereof. Go click that thing and read the Constitution. And then that Bill of Rights. That was the short list. That wasn't the long list. That was by no means an exhaustive list. Okay, the custom of making and unmaking laws is the most dangerous. Human laws are born, live, and die. And there it is again, right? Come back to those three things. That's one thing. Born, live, and die. Generation, operation, destruction. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Let's see here. The laws of nature are perfect and immutable, but the condition of human law tends always to infinity, and there is nothing in it that can continue perpetually. That's remember I was talking a couple of videos back about perpetuity and how several people that I know who were studying law had to talk about it because it's such a big concept. Laws are imposed on things, not on words. Laws are imposed on things, not on words. A man is word. Word is God. The only thing you have is your word. And so you take your word and you take a pen and you put it down on paper. That's why these declarations and documents can be so important. Laws are imposed on things, right? Not on words. So what does that mean? Because your name is words. Trade or business, that's your word. Those are your words. That name, those are words. You're the thing. You're the thing those words are based on. The words, your name, is based on the thing you are. Okay. Retrospective law. Oh, there you go. Retrospective laws are rare and should be received with great caution. Why? Because of the maxims we just read. Laws that, you write them now and they have to do with stuff in the past. What's past is past. Laws should bind those who make them. Our Congress needs to read this one. 1177. Laws should bind those who make them. And we let them get away with it. And this is fundamental right here. In the maxims. Laws aid the vigilant and not the negligent. Ooh, what's the corollary? What are some other ones that talk about this? That equity, right? Who does equity aid? Not those who sleep on their rights. Okay, which one? What am I talking about? So look it up. Laws aid the vigilant, not the negligent. Okay, so these are the Legis and Lexes. Laws imposed by the state failing, we must act by the law of nature. So laws imposed by the state failing, we must act by the law of nature. The construction of the law does no harm. Ooh, construction, you might want to understand that. Anyway, the destruction of the law does no harm. The minister of the law is bound in the execution of his office neither to flee nor retreat. I think Trump knows that one. I guarantee you, the elite's children, guarantee it, they could pass that 1895 test that he talks about in the video that I posted. Guarantee it. And I guarantee you they are well versed in what I'm reading you right now by the time they're 25. The minister of the guarantee it. The minister of the law is bound in the execution of his office neither to flee nor retreat. He no could, because he was bound in the execution of his office. The virtue of law is this: to command, forbid, permit, and punish. To command, forbid, permit, and punish. That's it. The virtue of the law is this: to command, to forbid, to permit, and to punish. The voice of the legislatures is a living voice to impose laws on things, not words. There it is again. A living voice to impose laws on things, not words. And see, their statutes impose on words and are made up of words. It's just words. Understand the words, and suddenly, and then understand how to behave and how to stay on your square, and how to ask them and tell them to fuck off politely, cordially. No, this is my estate. Anybody here that has, claims to be able to administer my estate without right, come forward. Otherwise, this is my estate. And I claim my estate. And I'm going to surrender all your documents. Fire you all, but you're not fired. I'm just revoking your trusteeship and rescinding signatures, especially on documents and contracts that are special or secret that I wasn't privy to, because you're supposed to give me disclosure. All right, so you got to figure out how to write that down nicely so that they know they know that you know. But see, before this, you never know, because they didn't teach it to us. Not by accident. Why? Why would they teach the slaves? Why would they teach the slaves law? When it's their use of the law that enslaves you. Using government. They get this, they got this. And then they use all kind of fuckery. Right? They never teach you the codes. They never give you the old knowledge. They don't let you into the brotherhoods. See, and they're mad at me. I've been invited on more than one occasion. Grandma said, don't join. But I like, no. Right? And if you want to know, well, then you got to find it yourself. Well, you go join one of the brotherhoods and they got it all nicely packaged in 33 degrees. Problem is, a lot of them Masons got corrupted by the left-hand pathers. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And the ones running the system right now is the left-hand path guys of the Masonic Temple. I don't care what anybody says, right? And, and every time I say that, or I say anything like that, I hear that Monty Python skit. The bleeding Masons, not the fucking Freemasons again. If you are a fan of Monty Python, you know which one I'm talking about. Anyway. Oh, there you go again with the Masons. Anyway. Oh. Wow. Do I want to do this? I think I do. Let's talk about the wig Moors. The wig Moors. They still wear wigs in some courts. And that wig was like the sheep's wool wig. This shit is what they were emulating. And they made it all nice. And that wool, that is the wig. And there's like the wig party, the wigs, and then there's the wig. And what is that? That's the hair of the Moor. All right, so they put the Moor, because where did they get the law? They got the law from the fucking Moors. I'm not lying. Please, for the love of God, fact check me. All right. So then in this United States around 1861, the missionaries that came here to do that work, which is to deceive, confuse, and so on, to cause dissension, to cause division, those were Whig Moors, the Whig Party. Oh, the Whig Moors. Oh, wait, no. We're not going to spell them like that. We're going to spell them like that. Wigmore. What do you get out of the Wigmores? You get the Democrats and the Republicans that are here to offer you through the United States Corporation, which is busted into 50 parts. State of California, state of Hawaii, not Hawaii state, not California state, state of Hawaii, state of Colorado, not Colorado state. There's a difference. Okay, so using this corporation, they converted you, and it was an unlawful conversion, into a corporate thing, a corporate person. You're not a corporation. You don't have a board of directors, but you're a corporate person. What's the corporate person? That's the in leges. That's the trade or business. See, there's a passage in USC 26 that just says includes trade or business. That's everybody. Trade or business. Learn what those two words are. Trade, the tradesmen, they trade their skills and labor and time for money. Business, they generally will make profit off of the tradesmen, like a plumbing company that has lots of plumbers, or a electrical company that has lots of electricians. Anyway, the idea being is that trade or business is one thing, and that is your name in all caps. And that's a trade or business. And see, what I told the IRS is I'm not a trade or business. I'm a living man. So in so many words, I told them I'm non-decedent. Now I know to tell them, excuse me, I've moved from decedent to non-decedent, and you need to correct your records. When did I move? Because all this time I was going along with this whole charade. I didn't know any better because nobody told me until I started looking at the law, oddly enough, when I started reading things and the minds of other men. And see, now you spread the knowledge. Right? The candle thing where, okay, I got the candle, and then you come over here and you light your candle, and then you can light somebody else's candle. And none of us lose nothing. Everybody still get light. In fact, now get more light. And then you light a couple other candles. Oh, look, get more light now. Am I making sense? Okay, but you want your candle to burn brightly, you got to armor up. How do you armor up? With knowledge. And you need knowledge of the law. You need knowledge of self. You need knowledge of who you are. You need knowledge of who they are. They is atrocious. Beyond your ability to reckon atrocious. They're so atrocious. Like just evil, like you can't conceive of it. You would never even fucking think of it. So you'd never think of it. Meantime, they're doing it to you and yours. And you want to talk a little bit more about the fact that, yeah, they're freaking literally blood drinkers. And it's not a joke that a lot of those people whose supply got cut off either died or now they look like hell, whereas they had unnaturally, the unnatural youth and beauty that lasted. Well, yeah, because that shit, apparently it works. I wouldn't know. Don't really want to know, but apparently it actually, works. And it's expensive as hell. But I mean, God, and right under our noses, And see, they've taken everything good in this knowledge and turned it to the darkness. That doesn't mean the knowledge is good. The car doesn't care who's driving. It's just a vehicle to get you to understand and to make the transformation from the man to the God, from the unillumined to the illumined, from the one that has some knowledge, right, to the one who has mastery of that knowledge, that can master self. You don't step off your square because you're afraid of punishment. Let's see, I have this question, so I'm not going to answer here, but some of you should know, why don't you step off your square? And I asked my son, and he came up with a lot of answers, but he hasn't come up with the quote unquote best answer yet. But you don't, but I'll tell you some of the ones that he gave me. Well, because you're afraid of punishment. Well, because it's true, because in many of the memes, that pedestal, you step off and you fall down here, and then you're subject to justice. But that's not why you don't step off the square, because you're worried about justice. Why are you going to stay on your square? What, because you fear punishment? That's a terrible reason to stay on your square. It's a reason, but it's pretty negative. What's the positive reason for staying on your square? And he came up with a couple of other ones, but I'll leave it to you also. Oh, one of the other ones I liked, he said, because that's what a man does. I like that one. But yeah, a man stays on his square. A man, right? Man also, right? Because in the beginning, right? I'm just having fun. Man is word, right? You have nothing but your word. I loved it up there in Idaho and Montana, where the deals were done on handshakes, because your word is your bond. You've got nothing else. You can't keep your word. You're not a man. Not worth dealing with. Word will get around about you not being able to keep your word. Man is word. Word is God. God is law. Law is word. You go to a hearing where you speak, where there is jurisdiction. Law, words. Law, speak. Right? Get the etymology. Learn what the words mean. Jurisprudence. Jurisprudence. Let's see here. And just understand that Roman Curio, they're not here to shepherd you into enlightenment. They are here to do the work of the Satan, which is to divide and conquer you, to extract wealth from you. I've said it before earlier I know, but just get it through your head. The unum sanctum, that is their job. They're doing their job. A lot of other people don't understand that they're doing the policy guys, like the guys on Maui right here. They don't know. They don't know about the unum sanctum. They don't know about the Roman Curio. They don't know about any of this stuff. And yet they enforce the policy from which wealth is extracted. What they know is they're supposed to not fight. So I join a police force for a stop. Make sure they don't fight. Make sure that bugger don't beat up his wife. Try to get some of these drugs off the street. Bro, I've talked to these guys. I grew up with these guys. They're not all about right. You talk to them. This is fucking crazy. Talk to them. All they know is, oh, that fucker could sue my bonds. He knows about the bonds. That's about as much as they get told. Yeah, you'll be looking for work the next day if he sues your bonds. If he successfully shows that you don't have imminent immunity because you violated his due process rights from get-go because you didn't show him an ID, you didn't identify yourself, so you were basically out of uniform, which has nothing to do with what clothes you have on, and you have violated due process rights. It's not a technicality. It's a violation of fundamental rights. You have a right to due process. I can find no evidence that I do not have the right to due process. I can find no evidence that there are any in the service corporation known as County of Maui or State of Hawaii or whoever you're writing to, sheriffs, blah, blah, is beyond the law. There's a maxim. I can find no evidence that State of Hawaii, like I said, make up your own. bring a few in there. I mean, what's a good one? Can find no evidence that they have the right to violate my due process rights. That County of Maui has the right to violate my due process rights. I can find no evidence, again, that you're beyond the law. If you are, show me the evidence. Right or obligation to administer my estate, show me the evidence. Right or claim my property, absent my consent. Show me any evidence, any obligation upon which you rely. Have I signed something that says you can take my property? If I have, I'm rescinding that signature because I didn't know. Oh, you're claiming that it was the birth certificate that gave you these rights because you own my person. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, well, that was unlawfully done. I was not age of majority at that time. And besides, that birth certificate is actually you considering me dead because it's the genesis of all this social security number and every other thing that you placed upon me. Okay, so this is, see what I'm doing. I give you the background story. I give you the appendix. I give you the additional reading. Now you got to write the book. And your book can be short, not long. And right, and you're going to write it in your own hand. And you're going to let these guys know that you moved. Okay, but you're going to do it in the most cordial, kind, no expletives, no threats, no any of that. As forgiving and loving as you can possibly be as a Christian. Not as a Jew. No, we're not eye for an eye in these guys. Yet. First, you establish the fact that you are a living man. And you're claiming your birthright. And you are quit claiming their claims on your person that that they've turned you from landlord to tenant. And you're going to give them ample time to adjust your claims, which they cannot and will not, because they cannot adjust the fact that you are the living man or woman. Okay, now you've armored yourself up with the knowledge. That's the armor of God. You know to stay on your square. You know your word is your bond. You always keep your word. Not because you're worried about punishment, but because in the bigger picture, you understand how important it is to keep your word. Right? And this is why you murder no one, because they're on a journey from man to godhood. And if you kill them, you have robbed them of the journey. Oh, so you get punished. Right? So you made them start over, you got to start over too. Most of the time. Get it? Okay. Oh, and that name, that brand. There's a word you should know. Brand. Oh, here's one. Kal. Superman. Kal. Who was the bad guy? Lex Luthor. Let's get back to Lex Luthor. But actually, this is not Lex. This is not the Lex Luthor. This is the good stuff. This is the fundamental stuff that sets you free. The virtue of the law is to command, forbid, permit, and punish. All right, we just did that. The voice of legislatures is a living voice to impose law on things, not on words. Okay, right. It is necessary to obey one who legitimately commands. We are all slaves of the law in order that we may become free. Uh, 1185. Fictions arise from the law, and not the law from fictions. Oh, let me repeat that because that sounds vaguely important. 1186. Fictions arise from the law, and not the law from fictions. Laws extreme in good produce extreme in evil. That's one of those things about equity doesn't like extremes. Laws do not undertake to punish other than outward actions. Witnesses should testify to nothing unless they are certain of it. That is, unless they have seen or heard it. And what was one of the maxims? Right? Sight is a better see, I can't remember. Sight is a better testifier than hearing, or sight is better testimony than hearing, something like that. The slight defense excuses from the consent of a plunder. Yeah, a slight defense excuses from consequences of a plunder. The law delights in equity. It covets perfection. It is a rule of right. Law sometimes follows equity. The law of England is the law of mercy. The law of England rules that the offspring shall always follow the condition of the father, never that of the mother. By the way, we're a fraternal society, not a maternal society, is what that basically says. The law of England cannot be changed except by Parliament. All right. That's England, right? Congress can't change the law. They can only write statutes. The corporation cannot rewrite law unless they're in the de jure, and they're not in the de jure, and we're not going there. Okay, the law of England does not suffer an absurdity. A beneficial law affords a remedy in a similar case. There's precedent. Let the law be certain, let the punishment be certain, and adequate to the crime, and previously decided by the laws. The law should rather tolerate a private loss than a public evil. The law admits no proof against that which it presumes. The law, you better understand, that's 1200 right there. The law admits no proof against that which it presumes. The law provides for the future, the judge for the past. The law ought not fail in dispensing justice. The law always abhors delays. You have a right to a fair and speedy trial. Based on the maxims, not the other way around. Constitution didn't give us anything. All it did was secure the rights we already had. Here they are. I'm reading them to you. The law is from the everlasting. The law is the soul of the king, and the king is the soul of the law. The law is the dictate of reason. How you gonna understand law if you never got reason even in high school? You gotta wait till you get logic and reasoning until you get to college. They took it out of the high school. Should be in there when they're small children. Reason. How you gonna understand law if you don't understand reason? Law is the dictate of reason. The law is the safest leader of the army of judges. Well, I never really wanted to take logic because, I didn't see how it was going to apply. So, and plus it was math and I didn't want to. The law is the safest leader of the army of judges. Law is a rule of right. We talked about right? Just right. Just what does that word mean? Big concept. Law is the highest reason which commands those things that are useful and necessary and forbids what is contrary thereto. Let me try that one more time without the stumble. Law is the highest reason which commands those things that are useful and necessary and forbids what is contrary thereto. The law is a sacred sanction commanding what is honorable and forbidding what is contrary. Law is the safest helmet. Under the shield of the law, no one is deceived. That's 12:11. Law makes the king. The law favors dower. What is dower? Go get you a book, the law dictionary one, Black's Law. Go look them up. The law feigns where equity subsists. Huh? Feign. That happens to be on the test. That I put the link in the video too. Anyway, the law feigns where equity subsists. The law feigns where equity withstands. The law wishes inheritance to be free to those not strictly bound for all time. An unjust law is not law. The law presumes one neighbor to know the actions of another. The law judges of those things which must necessarily be done as if actually done. The mercantile law is the law of the land. Maybe you know the mercantile law. The mercantile law is the law of the land. Admiralty law is the law of the sea. Maybe you know mercantile law. Mercantile. What does that mean? The law of necessity is the law of time, that is, of the present. Do you see why, if you're learned, you know how much time it'll take? Okay, just mercantile. Just mercantile law. How long is that going to take to spend to understand? The law forces no one to do vain or useless things. Oh, there's corollaries there. There's a Nemo there, right? No one can be made to do. Anyway, the law forces no one to do vain or useless things. The law obliges no one to show what he is presumed not to know. Again, go back to the Nemos. The law works harm to no one and does no one an injury. Bam! That's why I put 12:24 right there, and that's why the talk was about the law does injury to no one. Statutes and codes do. Rules and regulations do. But the law works harm to no one and does no one an injury. The law does nothing vainly, commands nothing vainly. The law should not be violated by the king. The law forces not to impossibilities. To go back to the Nemos. No one can do that which is impossible. The law regards not... What the... I didn't do that. Okay, there we go. The law regards not mere intentions, but to open acts. What? Sorry. The law regards not mere intentions, but open acts. There you go. Right? It's your act, not your intention. It cannot just think about the act. It's like, what did you do? Right? If it was your intention to murder the person, that's different than if it was an accident. In some accidents, like, you're not liable because there's nothing you could do, but some accidents, you might have been able to prevent the accident, or maybe you're just being stupid. Okay, so now you're not going to be absolved. However, if you made that accident happen on purpose to kill the person, that's a whole other intention. Anyway, and there's plenty of law around that, right? Res judicata. Now, let's see here. The law does not fail in showing justice. The law does not define exactly, but leaves the decision. Oh, wait. All right. The law does not define exactly, but leaves to the decision of a good man. There you go. That's judgment. The law favors not the wishes of the dainty. I love that one. That's 1231. The law favors not the wishes of the dainty. The law does not intend anything impossible. The law suffers no fractions and divisions of statutes. The law commands not useless things, because useless labor is foolish. The law does not require that which is apparent to the court to be verified. It should be apparent that you're a living thing. The law is the guardian of and father of orphans, the insane, and the poor. The law is the guardian and father of orphans, the insane, and the poor. The law is the more praised when it is consonant to reason. The later law annuls the earlier. The law looks forward, not backward. The law punishes a lie. There it is. In that book, no bearing false witness against your neighbor. Let's see, and I think it's HRS 37 codifies this perjury. You don't get the light of the courts. The law punishes a lie. This is where our laws come from. And then they codify it in statutes. The merely penal law binds only as to penalty, not as to fault. The mixed penal law binds both to fault and to penalty. The law rejects superfluous, contradictory, and incongruous things. The law rejects those things. The law regards equity. Equity regards the law. If the written law be silent, that which is drawn from manners and customs should be observed. And if in anything is defective, when that which is next and analogous to it, and if that does not appear, then that law which Rome used should be followed. Wow, what does that say? Go read 1244. Right? If the written law be silent, that which is drawn from manners and customs should be observed. So if there is no written law about it, what? Manners and customs. Says it right there. Custom is the highest form of law. Simple as that. Oh my. Let's see here. And what else? Defective. And then, which is next and I cannot speak English. Analogous to it. Analogous. ANALOGOUS. Analogous to it. An analogy. Anyway, all right. What the hell is going on here? Okay. Let's see. And then if that does not appear, then that law which Rome would have used should be followed. Where does law come from? Look like it come from the Romans. All right, but what's the highest law? Custom, right? Manners and custom. Law will always give a remedy. What? 1245. Lex semper dabit remedium. How is that for horrifying Latin? Lex semper dabit remedium. There you go. Law will always give a remedy, right? They have to give us a remedy. They don't have to tell us what the remedy is, but they got to give us one, right? They must give us remedy. But you can't claim the remedy if you don't know the law. The law always intends what is agreeable to reason. The law regards the order of nature. The law assists the ignorant. How do you like that? The law assists the ignorant. The law speaks to all with one mouth. Ooh. The law assists the wakeful, not the sleeping. See, there it is again, right? The vigilant. I mean, see, they start to go together. You start to see that there's a bunch of them that go together. Right? The wakeful, not the sleeping. Law assists the wakeful, not the sleeping. Right? That's huge. How huge is that? Especially now when people talking about being woke and stuff. Well, yeah, the law assists the wakeful, not the sleeping. Right? The vigilant, not those who sleep on their rights. The law designs rather punishment than inconvenience. Okay. Are we going to stop there? Yeah, we're going to stop there. All right. So we're only on page 153. And those were just the law ones. All right. Then you got to go back and look at the Nemos and see how they cost. Okay. So you got to study these maxims. If you want to really, everybody says that if you really want to get them, you got to know the maxims. That's because there's no adjudication required, right? Simple. They have you, you're covered because stare decisis, because the law is based on what I just read you. This is where our laws come from. So if you know the maxims, you're down here at the fundamentals. But see, you're going to claim common law and fundamental law and you don't know what the law is? Yes, you are. Just like a lot of guys claim to be Christians. And then it turns out, they checked the user agreement, but they never read the user agreement. And they never read the terms of service. They just said, yeah, I'm Christian. Never read the book. Have no idea. The only way they know how to decode this thing is the literal stories. Should I do that because it's Sunday? But I mean, like Passover. Go read Luke. Okay. That's you passing over. That's you exercising your right to quit claim. Well, blood on the door and all the firstborn children. And yeah, that too. But understand, there's multiple ways to read the stories. And it's written in code. Let's see here. Oh, and it's spread out between and if you read the three books say the same thing in three different ways. In fact, all the books say the same thing in 3 different ways or 5 different ways. But it's the one thing is the one thing, right? So you got the Bible, the Quran, and the Talmud, right? Christians, Muslims, and Jews. It's one thing. They got you thinking that it's 3 things. And like I said, they got those things cut into 2 things. Why? Because the ministry is about division. These guys been at this for the whole age of Pisces. Now it's time for you to carry your own water. You're not going to be in the schools anymore. You're not going to do everything as in big groups like we used to. I mean, yeah, you're still going to have that collective, but now it's going to be about the individual. and you carry your own water. You carry your own what is water symbolic of? What are we talking about when we talk about carrying your own water? Right? That's the knowledge. You got to have your own knowledge. And you're going to fill your bucket, you're going to fill your container yourself and carry it into your house. That's Aquarius in a nutshell. There's a lot of knowledge. That basket of crumbs is pretty big. Right? And then, you got to have the knowledge of all 12 of them. And the tarot tells the story in beautiful symbology. The one true story. Using the symbology of the tarot and the zodiac and Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the mother of all things, not a town in Israel. Jerusalem, as opposed to just Salem. Jerusalem. Anyway, and then we had Salem and New Salem. This is Jerusalem. You think it's a place. It's not a place. It's the mother of all things. Oh, we go tell the story of Noah. 2 by 2 is how you're going to learn this. All right. So, speaking of the zodiac and Jerusalem and the mother of all things, it all goes together. It's all one big gestalt. I already talked about Jasher. I'm going to tell you one story from Jasher. And this will tell you what you're supposed to do in courts. And this will tell you a lot about your documents. And this is just a story. So there's this guy. He goes to defend this man in Gomorrah or Sodom. Whatever. One of those cities where it's already so far gone that it's just ridiculous how bad it is there, right? They're all thieves and murderers and harlots and so on, right? That need to be destroyed. Anyway, so the guy that the good guy goes to defend this guy, and the guy he's supposed to defend takes a rock and throws it in the head, and then says, "Hey, you owe me money because you spilled bad blood on the ground. I made you spill bad blood on the ground, so now you owe me." They're like, "You're out of your fucking mind." They go in front of a magistrate, a judge, and the judge agrees with the bad guy and says, "Yeah, he spilled bad blood. So you owe him money." And so what does the guy do? The good guy. The guy takes a stone, throws it at the judge, hits him in the head, spills blood. Says, "Okay, I just spilled bad blood with you, so you owe me what I owe him. So instead of paying me, just pay him." That's the whole story. I go draw them for you. So this guy pops this guy, and this guy pops this guy. All right. We'll go throw some red on. Or maybe we'll make it orange. All right. Do I have some red? No. Red is the one that I never have. All right. So we'll make it orange. So anyway, spills the bad blood. Spills the bad blood. Oh, so this guy says you owe me, let's just say $1,000. Well, then this guy says, "Yeah, you owe me $1,000 for spilling bad blood." And the judge agrees. So he throws a stone and says, "Okay, well, then you owe me $1,000. But instead of paying me, why don't you just pay him the $1,000 and then leave me out of it?" Maybe you see the trust triangle. Maybe you see plaintiff, defendant, and judge. Maybe you see a lot of things in that parable, in that story. Anyway, Jasher, Book of Jasher. Let's see here. Oh. Me, myself, and I is we. The three of you. The God. The Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The Creator. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to God. The generator, the operator, the destroyer, the generator, the operator, destroyer, the grantor, the trustee, the beneficiary. The beneficiary is the one that, right, a lot of times when he gets there, he destroys the trust. Right? The beneficiary can dissolve the trust. But anyway, there's three: the generator, the operator, the destroyer. It's going to show up all over the place once you know this. Okay. Me, myself, and I is the we. And the we is absent according to them. Because you're a decedent. You're not there. You don't let them know that you don't consent. So they assume and presume you consent. Because you never tell them different. In fact, you told them you was one U.S. person. How much times you signed something that said you U.S. person? So then you U.S. person. Because you said you was. Because you never know. But just because you never know, no make difference. In fact, to them, even better, you never know. Because if you never know, you never know. And then you never going to know. And then you never going to ask them. And then they're going to extract wealth from you forever. But see, I didn't read it there. But ignorance is no excuse. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Just because you never know doesn't excuse you. Mommy signed that document. So you got to unsign that document. You got to undo what they've done unlawfully. Forgiving them the whole way and claiming your birthright. You've moved. You moved. You got yourself some knowledge. You started reading the book and not just as a literal story. You start to figure out, oh yeah, I got to read Ruth. Well, why I got to read Ruth? Okay, well that's the parable. That's the love in the book. So you don't want to be ruthless like them. So you need to, right? And women can stand on Ruth. In court, they will, most judges will, if you are sincere and you are an actual, Christian that understands the book of Ruth, you can stand on Ruth. That's what it's for. There are all kinds of crazy stories about that. But what the fuck am I talking about? Well, you better go read the book of Ruth, and then you can go do a little more research on what the hell do I mean by standing on the book of Ruth. Okay. And then you better know something about property. Okay. So we just went over the Lex Maxims. That's a big ass key you just got right there. And then, like I said, that's not enough. You got to go back. You got to know some of them. And then you got to be able to cross them with Nemos and nihils. Right? That whole book goes together. And so how do you do that? Well, you can go into this book that's I was reading from, which I gave you the link to, and type in Lex or type in law, and then it'll give you all then type in equity, right? I gave you 21 equity maxims, but if you go look in, let's go look. We go look right now. Go check them with me. Go check them with Auntie. Okay, and I like Lex. I like equity. Wait. 82 times equity shows up in the document, and I only gave you 21. So there's a whole lot more equity in there. And then if you look, let's go read. You know what we're going to do, just for fun? Go ahead, guys. All right. So equity, 1243. The law regards equity. 1289. Equity shines by her own light. Oh, look, I'm reading maxims again. Stop me before I read again. Well, that's fucked up. I can't read that. Yeah, that's a messed up page. Oh, well. Nothing is so unjust as to extend equity too far. Nothing is so consonant to natural equity as that the same thing be dissolved and by the same means by which it was bound. There you go. That was the one I stumbled over last time. Let's see here. Am I going to read all 82 of these? No, I'm not. But nothing is so constant to natural equity as to regard the wish of the owner in transferring his own property to another. The radical part of equity is equality. What? The radical part of equity is equality. Reason in law is perfect equity. If any one of certain required forms be wanting when equity requires it, will be aided. What? If any one of certain required forms be wanting when equity requires, it will be aided. There you go. The suppression of a fact takes away equity. Anyway, I'm just right, and we're jumping all over the place. 260, well, in order, but 2610, or it's 2610, 2610, 2610. Where there is equal equity, the law must prevail. Okay, so there it is, right? Equity. If you go back into the back of the book there in the index, it appears on page 71, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, because those are the equity maxims. 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, blah, 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 all the way through. And you can see that it's there like 82 times. So we only went over 21 of them. So you might want to, right? And then that's the huge concept, equity. What is equity? What's the difference between law and equity? Okay. Let's call it a day. Went over that. Oh, testify and testament. Right? Because what did that book of Revelation say? It said by the blood of the Lamb and their testimony. So maybe you should know what testimony and testament is. Again, the power phrase, I can find no evidence. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're a liar. I'm not saying you're deceiving me. I'm just saying I can't find any evidence. So if you can find some evidence, that'd be great. And then show it to me. And then we'll go from there. But if you don't have any evidence, and it's he who affirms that has to, show proof, then I'm going to assume you don't have any evidence, and you can't blame me for asking because I asked 3 times. I've done what a prudent man rule. I have done what a prudent man would do. I'm going to assume, just like I did prudent man with the IRS on numerous things, where I asked them, numerous questions, and like, hey, your statute of creation. Everybody else I asked for a statute of creation had one. Everybody else I asked for a statute of creation, they were part of the United States Corporation, and they were like, the United States Securities and Exchange. The IRS, this private corporation, is not the United States IRS. Okay, so prudent man, I gave them 3 opportunities. I gave them numerous opportunities. Actually, I gave them more than 3. Hey, are you guys right? Why don't the words United States appear on your letterhead? Simple question. I thought at the time. Excuse me, right? IRS. I can find no evidence that you're part of the United States Corporation or part of the United States. I can find no evidence of your creation statute. Can you please provide me evidence of your creation statute? Hey, look, everybody else I asked to provide me evidence of your creation statute gave me their fucking creation statute, usually within 3 days. IRS dogged me for like the maximum they could on the thing, and then they wrote me a letter that said, "Oh, this requires more research. Please send your query to the IRS reading room, Pennsylvania." Blah blah blah. I packaged the whole thing up, sent it off to them. Never heard a thing. I told them 3 times, you guys know the Malcreation statute, and if you know Malcreation statute, and you don't have a contract with me, I don't see how you think I'm under your authority and how you have any kind of ability to to speak law to that I'm not under your jurisdiction. I have no evidence of your statute of creation. I asked you 3 times. Okay. Power words. I can find no evidence of. I can find no evidence that. I can find no evidence that your rules and orders supersede the Constitution of the United States. I can find no evidence that. Like I said, we should play the game over here. You guys type all kinds of stuff, but you don't type the kind. I love it. I love it. New Mrs. T. Bold and Moloch, not same. 3 faces, one thing, but not the same thing. Moloch is the freaking, the nasty ones, the pharmaceutical guys, the ones that are killing off hundreds of millions right now because they got control of their mind using the mind control technique of the small screen. See what they did? Well, multi-screen technique, actually. It came at you from all sides. You never have hope. You never have any hope. So first was a theater, the big screen, and they called them movies. And then pretty soon the movies were talkies. And they could get you to think and see the same thing. They could use propaganda, and they could get you to go send your fucking little boys off to horrifying wars based on the images that you saw on the screen. Well, not you, but I guess this would be grandparents for you guys, or great-grandparents, some of your great-great-grandparents. And then they moved it down to where they put that screen in your house with this wondrous technology that most of you still don't know how that worked. I was in radio. It took me forever to figure out how our transmitter worked. How the hell is that? I talk into this speaker and it goes through this device and then it goes out into the ether and then you turn in your radio and you can hear me speaking. Anyway, they used the ear and sight to program mind, because the only way they can program mind is sight and sound. So you got to deprogram your own mind. I just went to the photo reading workshop and the Total Genius or Super Genius program. See, I'm a absent-minded professor, but I'm working on that. I got some memory paraliminals, and yeah, it seems to actually be interesting. It's working. But anyway, big screen, smaller screen, right? And that was plugged into the wall, and you couldn't take it with you. But they still put all kind of stuff, and they put movies and all kind of subliminals and all kind of programming here. And then they got even smaller. And you could take that thing with you. And now you can look at your small screen and be programmed all the time. You can be programmed in a bus. You can be programmed at school. You can be programmed all the time. And you get to think that you're choosing the programming. And then finally, what they got was control of your mind. Now they can make you. Say ridiculous things. Right? I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for you. You should do it for me. It's because I'm doing this for you. They got control of your mind. How did they get control of your mind? By using these screens. Light and sound, light and sound, light and sound. None of these screens are showing you what I'm talking about. How come none of these screens are talking about these things? How come they don't tell you about law? Oh, yeah, go watch Archer. Sure. I like watching Archer. But maybe you should, the amount of time you spent watching Archer could probably be better used doing this. But if you're doing both, that's one thing. But if you're only doing one, that's another thing. And most of you are only doing one, which is watch Archer, which is watch whatever the fuck it is on MTV or whatever, or cable, or Netflix, or Hulu, or however you get your media. 100% designed. Okay. Yeah, I'm going there. Fuck that. I'm going. The Boule. Who the hell are them guys? Oh, it's a brotherhood. Black brotherhood. I mean, dark skin brotherhood. Comedians and a lot of rappers and singers. LL Cool J talking to Dr. F about, hey, it's safe. They don't care. They don't love you. Okay, so what are they doing? They made a deal. The Boule made a deal with another brotherhood to fill up the prisons. How are they going to do that? They're going to do that with their humor. They're going to do that with TV shows. They're going to do that with negative stereotypes for Negroes. They're going to do that with rap music that used to be happy and, hotel, motel, holiday inn. Now it's nigga, right? Over and over again. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, right? And it's cool to have a gun and do liquor and sell drugs and shit. Got to get paid. Emphasizing all the negative aspects. And then they go and emulate those negative aspects, and they fill up the prisons for the other guys in the prison industrial complex. But they got paid. You know who I'm talking about? Glamorizing being a gangsta. They ain't glamorizing being educated. They ain't glamorizing being a Moor. They ain't glamorizing the fez. They ain't glamorizing being learned and understanding the Hermetic principles. And anybody that does gets in trouble. Go listen to Everything is Everything by Lauryn Hill with new ears. It seems we lose the game before we even start to play. Who made these rules? But change will come eventually. What is she talking about? Everything is everything. After winter must come spring. Rhythm. And they're talking about, and how do you know Lauryn Hill was the real deal? Is because they try to put her away. They called her crazy. She was fucking trying to wake these slaves up using her music. And her code is not thick enough because any fool can see through this code. If you try, go listen to the song. Go listen. Lauryn Hill, Everything is Everything. Tell me she didn't know what the hell she was singing about. Tell me it's all just a coincidence. Anyway, the music, it's all around you. And they understood that they could use music to program your mind. So that whole 60s music, go back and look at all the different people that came out. Anyway, that's in the video that they're talking about. But it's come up over and over again that all these bands that you thought were so radical, turns out that they were, your parents did. Turns out that they were all sons and daughters of military men and operatives and so on. And it turns out Beatles were MI6. Yeah, what did the Beatles do? And then one of them actually did wake up and they shot him. It's been a war for your mind the whole time. And we're at the end game. Now, take back your mind. Step one. That's what this is about. So you take back your mind. How you take back your mind? You learn the words. You learn what the words mean. Then you know what words to use. And then you use the words to make claims and declarations. And then you let certain people know that you've moved. That you're no longer decedent and you're no longer deceived. And you don't want to be. And recognize me. Recognize the fact that I'm a living being. And I want a ID that reflects that fact. And you know what? The ID is going to look the same. It's not going to say, oh, this one is a living one. It's not going to say that. The ID going to look the same. But when they type it into their computer, oh, don't fuck with this one. Right? I've seen it with my own eyes. Because on accident, I had a girlfriend who had a father. And as soon as they saw, I mean, they look at my passport, they're going to start opening my shit, right? As soon as they see her passport, oh, you're together? Go. Right? What the fuck are you doing here among these peasants? It was kind of the vibe I got. They didn't say that, but it's kind of the vibe I got. Like, what the fuck? Because they're not used to seeing that. Now, maybe a little bit more, but back then, for damn sure, they weren't used to seeing a thing that showed that she wasn't one of us. Anyway, wasn't quite like that, but it was kind of sort of like that. But the bottom line is, if you have the proper paperwork, it's not going to be an ongoing sojourn of harassment and fighting, because you're not worth fighting. You got the armor on you. You can take the slings and arrows, right? When they try to offer you, oh, here's a contract. You're like, no, I'm not signing that. Or, sure, no contract. Oh, UCC 1308. I don't want a contract with you. I have no contract with you. Hey, look, I already wrote this letters and let them know a long time already. Well, for you, some of you haven't even read them yet, but all right. So, season's up. What? One season. What's a season? What I just went do it up. There, one season. What is one season? There, one season. One season. One season. One season. You like your paperwork? Good. You got to go one season. 30, 30, 30. And in that season, what? 1, 2, 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times. Exactly. What were you guys doing? Obviously. So now you take bath with calcium bentonite. Dorkhead. We fuck things up so badly that the boy can't play in the rain. Well, he can, but this was us. Where was I before I got so? Yeah, and he's freezing too, because, well, in Hawaii it's freezing. It's probably 60s out there, but it was rainy. Anyway, and they were playing in the park. I know what they were doing. They were boogie boarding on this one hill. And anyway, and it's fun, but our rain is contaminated. Anyway, one season, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. You got to do one season. So your paperwork got to go in 3 times. Okay, so then, oh, look, I told you already 3 times. And look, I get this ID. It's not me, right? That's my favorite one in I believe it was Airplane. Is that her? No, it's a picture of her. Right? It's not you. It's a picture of you. Is that you? No, that's my ID. Now, let's practice that. Is that you? No, that's my ID. I'm authorized to represent this thing, this Inlegis, this trader business, this licensee. Right? Okay. But you're not going to get license. You're going to get state ID. And your state ID going to reflect the fact that you live in person. And when they call them in, they're going to be, oh, shit, this guy can sue my bonds because he knows about suing bonds. They're not going to do it. They're not going to leave you alone because it's the right thing to do. They're going to leave you alone because this porcupine get quills. And if I try punch this porcupine, oh, the bugger going to spike me one good one. So just leave it alone. Have a nice day, sir. Pass on through. And one of my favorite ones when you're the master. Anything in those bags I should know about? I don't think so. Have a nice day, sir. Right? Completely different world. And and these fuckers never tell me nothing. Right? They didn't tell me what they're, but it was clear that there was one law for one and one law for another. And because I was with the ones that were with the other, they assumed that I was too, even though I was ignorant as fuck. Ignorant. And it was vaguely amusing to them to have, I know now, to have this monkey along that was, anyway. Always because of women. Always because of women. Anyway, so you have told them 3 times. You have been cordial. You have asked them simple questions. You have not called them liars. You have not been angry at them. You will forgive them their trespasses as you forgive those that trespass. So yeah, they trespassed against you, but you also trespassed against them with your ignorance. So they got to forgive me for being ignorant. I'll forgive you for taking advantage of my ignorance. So that works. You're not going to be vindictive. Vengeance is not yours. They'll get theirs. You wouldn't trade places with them, I promise. All right. So, wow, that's 3 hours right there. Call it a day. And I got so much more to do. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I gave you that one video. If you know the Radiant Clone, go to his channel or her channel. Pretty sure it's a him. And go and watch the latest Patrick Devine. That's about the quick thing demon, the meaning of Passover, and all that kind of stuff. In fact, you know what? I'll give one to you. I think I got it on here. I can just click it and you can have that. Nope. This is Grand Sharik. That's the one I already gave you. Yes, apostille and the meaning of Passover. All right. I'll go throw them at you right here. All right, so there that is. Go watch it. Well, go listen to it because there's nothing to watch. All right, what else was I going to cover? I think I quit. And I didn't even cover everything I wanted to. And 3 hours has already gone by. See, that's the other thing. It takes time to go through all this stuff. That's why you want to do photo reading. Here, at the end of this, I will give an unabashed, uncompensated, and what's the other word? Unsolicited, uncompensated, unabashed, absolute testimonial for photo reading. Holy fuck. Holy fuck is all I can say. My son had tremendous successes. We were with 76 other people, and photo reading is the real deal. Holyfield. I will be reading a book a day, easily. And they have a book a day challenge. So, photo reading. This book tells you how to photo read. But better is to go to one of the seminars. I paid $1,300, worth every penny. I mean, and the company is Learning Strategies. They're totally awesome. So yeah, they'll give you all the course materials you need to learn photo reading. The book that we photo read was The Resiliency Advantage. This is a good book. But then I photo read this, which is The Nature of the Judicial Process. And then I photo read this. This is one of Pete Hendrickson's books, which is Upholding Law. Good book. And then I photo read this. Interesting. And then I photo read this, but I've already read this and I've already listened to the audiobook. This book gives you the, let's get to page 10 here. 7 Hermetic Principles by the 3 initiates. This book will change everything when you're ready for it. It'll either find you or it'll just fall into your lap. but this is the basis of all of it. Mentalism, the transmutation, the transition, the movement is all mental, and that's the first of it. Then once you understand that and you start understanding the basic laws and the premises, you will begin to understand that they are programming you. And instead of you being programmed, you get rid of that. You change your mind. And now you do the programming. And the way you program, the way you, right, is you start knowing things, right? You start increasing your knowledge, and you start figuring out that you only have so much time. So it's rather important what you read, what you spend time, what you focus on. But with photo reading, it is truly amazing. Go find out about photo reading. Go find out about photo reading. Go find out about photo reading. Go to a seminar. There is one coming up in November. And then I did photo reading and the Genius Code is what it was called. And the Genius Code was exactly not what I was expecting by any stretch of the imagination, but it was totally awesome. And the guy that started it, he's pretty amazing. And you realize just how much shit he's read because he started the photo reading course, right? Paul Sheely, right? This guy you can tell because he's read, neuro-linguistic programming. He's probably read 30 books on neuro-linguistic programming. Didn't take him months. There are people that were doing like 5 books a day for 10 days. That's 50 books in 10 days. 50 books in 10 days. But so you can overdo it. You can overdo anything, right? But basically what this book does, and go find it. You can find it online. You start reading it right now. Get ready for the next course that's coming up. What this does is it teaches you to take pictures with your mind because it's not about storage. It's about retrieval. And then how to take, right? You look at it. Okay, bam. My subconscious mind has it. Everything you've ever seen, heard, tasted, felt, touched, it's in there. It's all about retrieval. So it shows you how to get your conscious mind that only works at 4 bits a second and allow your, other than conscious mind, you're someone who call it the subconscious, but not really. It's the not conscious mind. It's where everything else is. It's not necessarily connected to your body. Your memories are not in here. They've discovered they can't find you in here. But anyway, the idea being is that the one that we're using right now to talk with each other and speak and do all the stuff, that's going at 4 bits a second, which is pretty fucking fast. But the other one that's processing your blood, and the average person filters 100 pounds of sugar, right? Your body does it automatically. But yeah, of course, you know how many minerals and stuff it takes. All right, so they give us all that sugar so that they can demineralize us and then put bad minerals in, which calcifies the lamb. Anyway, 40 million bits per second. It's beating your heart. It's digesting your food. It's breathing in and out. It's making sure that the oxygen and carbon transfer takes place. It's running your brain. It's processing and decoding all the sounds that I'm making at you. All of that all at once. No problem. Because it's running 40 million times faster than this conscious mind is. All right, so what photo reading does is allow that mind, allows you to access this mind. Problem, this mind, he no speaky English. He speaky in pictures and symbol. Right? So then you got to decode the symbol. You got to know what water is. You got to, the tarot, again, beautiful, beautiful symbology, the Hierophant and the Magician and the Pentacles and the Cups and the Rods and the Staves and the Swords and all of that. There's symbols for things. And then the numbers have symbol and meaning. Okay, so you got to understand that to be able to speak to that mind. because this mind cannot speak. All right, so guess what? The Masons got the code. They know what those symbols are. That's why they study self. That's why they study the dreams. That's why they put symbol with the signs of the zodiac. Right, Scorpio used to be, and Scorpio's new. Scorpio, there used to be a bird there. So you look at some of the tarot cards, and they don't have a scorpion; they have a bird there. So, and you got to know that. And they made Aries the ram, and they made Pisces the fish, and they made Cancer the crab, and right. So they associated animals with this knowledge, and it's symbolic, right? And the codex. Right, and the Imaginarium, and anyway, the idea that they understood how to speak to that subconscious mind, and then when you unlock the keys to this, it looks like magic. It freaking looks like magic. And see, my son had an experience where he took, and see, I got to find the thing. I don't have his piece of paper, and I don't remember it, but he took this upside down and backwards, because that's how awesome this processor is. And because we want to take pictures of the pages with our mind, we don't want to try to read, because reading fucks up the process. So anyway, he went through this book at this speed, basically, like this, upside down and backwards, mind you, one time. Look at this book. All right. I mean, look at this book. It's kind of dense. It has a lot of information. All right, so then you photo read it. Then there's multiple steps to activation. In other words, okay, so just because it's in there doesn't mean you can have access to it. All right, so what you have to be able to do is learn how to do this process, and you'll have access to the information. All right, I witnessed this with my own eyes, upside down and backwards, one time. There's a process that you go through in order to, by the time we were done, it's like, okay, you can photo read 4 or 5 books at a time that are under the same topic. And so this is mind maps of those books, those 4 books. But anyway, he started mind mapping this one book. And one of the questions, okay, and one of the things that you start to do with the photo reading is, oh no, I was going to quit 12 minutes ago, you have to have intention. Why are you reading this book? Well, he wanted to read this book because he wanted to be able to use and recognize herbs that are common and, at his feet. All right. So anyway, one of the questions was find a word or find a sentence or a short paragraph that sums up the book perfectly. You read it one time backwards. I can't remember the passage, but basically he heard a voice basically in his head, which was him, that said to him, using language, page 3 or page something, paragraph something, sentence 7 or something like that. And that sentence was, we don't listen to the forest, the forest doesn't listen to us. We listen to the forest. Summing this book up basically perfectly. All right. He read it one time, upside down and backwards. Don't tell me the thing doesn't work. It works. All right. So you want to get through all of this reading that you have to do? You might want to learn how to photo read. It's not cheap. It's like $1,200. It's $1,300, but it's freaking absolutely positively worth it, because I'm plowing through stuff now and I'm starting to see, this technique works. Holy crap. Okay. Like I said, we're leveling up, folks. I can't believe there are only 76 people there. I was expecting it to be bigger than that. Really? For the ability to be able to read a book a day, to be able to read 30 books in a month, to understand that in a year you have basically the equivalent of masters in various topics, because basically a 6-year degree is reading, understanding, dissecting, discussing 5 books on whatever topic it is. Right, so it's 30 books basically, or 21 books. I can't remember what BS is 21 and masters is 30. But I mean, you can read a book a day. And then you could read them again, really get to know the subjects. There are people that talk about, in 4 years, they wind up with, all kind of degrees. Pass. Oh, wait, here, wait, I can take my word for it. I can read it right out of the book, which I just put where? Oh, right there. Okay. Some of the testimonials in here are insane. I received the highest grade on every test. Let's see here. This is the best book for reading improvement ever written. Finally, one written by someone who truly understands the learning process. And that comes from Eric Jensen, who's the author of Learning, Brain, and Super Teaching. And I don't know if I studied a little bit about super teaching classrooms and so forth because of the business that I'm in. So that's high praise, in other words. Photo reading has helped many, including myself, to blast through materials at rates up to 25,000 words a minute. 25,000 words a minute. And I guarantee you, I witnessed with my own eyes, this guy reads faster than 25,000 words a minute. And I'm very close to there. I still have a few issues with quote unquote activation. But it became clear to me, it's so funny because my subconscious mind just pointed out the fact that I needed to state my intention more clearly and in a positive way. Why do you want to be able to do this? Why do you want to be able to photo read? Why do you want to understand what's in this book? Why are you reading the book? You can photo read this thing. And then you have all these stories about people being able to recall it and have, photo read it a couple of times and be able to recite chapter and verse of whatever it is they read and have conversations with the author or have, heard numerous stories of people that were there where they had done photo reading and the authors were amazed at how they knew the subject as well or better than the author did, especially if they had take this book again. Okay, so here is the photo reading book. And here is the bibliography. So then you go read the books that this book was written from, right? The bibliography. You read a few of these, and now all of a sudden you're an expert. See what I'm saying? Right? Because you've read all the books that they read to write the book with. And you can do it. It's amazing. So I would figure out how to get to one of those seminars. And he admits, or he has numerous people in numerous countries that are as good or better than he is at teaching this technology, at transferring this technology. It's a technology and transferring it to you and then making it work for you. Lots of people have done it. My son is doing it. He's using it for guitar chords. The results have been amazing. Nothing short of, it's like magic. It's like freaking magic. All right. So there's enough of that. Go get the book and read them. I had the program since it was on cassette. They're in their 40th year. I'm a little tardy. And even then I'm ahead of the game. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your freaking mind. And then all their products. And then they got paraliminals that are mind-blowing. And then they got, paraliminal technology. Go look up paraliminal technology, and you can buy $29.95 or whatever it is, and buy 3, get 1 free at the learning. Shall I put that here? I'll put that here. Oh, crap. I've got all these different ones open. But I need to just go home to learning strategies. There you go. All right, there you go. Bam. Paraliminals. Highly Highly recommended. Bam. All right. So now I gotta cut and paste it in here like this. You want really fast self-programming change. Bam. Right there. Parallels. Again, so that you're programming your own mind, not having them, and you're going to have to unprogram a lot of the shit that they put in there. They try to turn you into an evil, violent monkey, and you don't want to be an evil, violent monkey. You want to be a happy, loving, caring, lawful, godly monkey that knows how to stay in a square, knows why he stays in a square, knows that he should pray for his enemies because, they in so much trouble. You wouldn't trade places with them. Anyway. But yeah, so you pray for your enemies, right? And that doesn't mean you don't pray for justice. That doesn't mean you hope they get off, right? And there's one in there that the law punishes, right? So that it doesn't happen in the future. It's not punishing what happened in the past, right? The law punishes forward, right? To prevent from them doing harm, not back. Anyway, the idea being is that, and if you understand that, right, and then you also understand why it is you stay on your square, and you also, nobody has to make you. You're not afraid of punishment. Well, you are, but you aren't. I mean, you're not a punishment from men. You understand that you're standing above that. You're not beyond the law. You're absolutely subject to it, and you understand that you're subject to it. So there's no getting away from it. So you're not going to break it. How easy is that? Okay. Oh my, look at all these stuff here. Wow, it goes for days. Okay. That should do it, actually. Go over those maxims until you get comfortable with the maxims. And until you can do the corollaries. Until you know the Nemos and you know all that stuff. Get this under your belt sooner than later. Look, it's not thick. This will change your life. I'm going to leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. I got more books. Fancy that. But see, the difference now is I'm going to have read all these books. But I mean, yeah, think about it. You want to learn about neuro-linguistic programming. You can read 30, 40 books about neuro-linguistic programming. And see, you can read them 5 at a time. In 6 days, you'll know more about neuro-linguistic programming than your university professor, probably. And you'll have recall. And. Why do you want to learn neuro-linguistic programming? Well, maybe if you learn some neuro-linguistic programming, you'd realize how it is that they use these devices to subconsciously program your mind to do things that you might not want to be doing. Right? Neuro-linguistic programming allows you to take back your mind. And Tony Robbins talks about it for using neuro-linguistic programming to help you achieve your goals and constant never-ending improvement by using neuro-linguistic programming. Now, okay, maybe you don't want to learn about neuro-linguistic programming. Maybe you want to learn about constitutional law. Maybe you want to read about contract law. Maybe you want to read about trust law. All right, so you can read 5, 6 books on trust law. And you see where they're similar and where they're different. Maybe you want to read 30 books on trust law. There's like 80-something kinds of trusts. You could become, quote unquote, an expert on trust law. Not because you want to set up trust, because the maxims tell you that woe unto the man who trusts another man. There is no trust in this country. Right? Oh, let me read it right. I'll read it right to you. Oh dear. Cursed is the man who puts his trust in men. Or excuse me, in man. Cursed is the man who puts his trust in man. Don't set up trust, but you should know about trust, and you should know about trust law. But don't be setting up trust. That's the way to woe. And those are the maxims. It's in there. But I mean, learn those maxims. Learn the law, and then You can use photo reading for that. And then you can use photo reading about contract law. And then you can use photo reading about all this kind of stuff. And you'll have it quick. What took me 20 years, you can do in a couple of months. Literally. More knowledge than me if you're dedicated to it. Although I don't know if you're going to get ahead of me or not, because I'm going to be photo reading. I'm definitely going to be photo reading. But the idea being is that, yeah, you can catch up. Let that. This is your opportunity. Okay. Talked about the coins, talked about the law, talked about the Bible a little bit, talked about Happy Easter. Hope to God that some of you guys that are considering yourselves Christians are not afraid to gather together. That's the first freaking amendment. Again, didn't give you any rights. It was securing your right to worship without a mask, free of social distancing, any other fucking law, rule, or regulation. I can find no evidence that the rules and orders of the governor supersede the Constitution of the United States. If you disagree, please present the obligations or contracts upon which you rely. Why that hot? I don't understand. Why that hot? Why are you scared for ask? Why are you scared for make declarations? But they were going to put you in camps. Now, it doesn't take everybody. Well, we got 6 people here, 3%. And I know some people come back and watch the whole thing at 2 times speed or 175 or whatever, which I recommend highly. But I mean, they're getting results up in Idaho. They're getting results. I mean, it's happening. People are suing. This is what they set us up to do. It's a republic if you can keep it. That you waiting for Superman. Quit waiting for Superman. Right? You are Superman, Kyle. But you got to realize the fact. And then you got to act. First, armor of God. That's the knowledge. Then you can pick up the sword. And then understand how to wield it. Being able to write complaints and warrants. Being able to sic the U.S. Marshals on them. Being able to demand investigation based on the fact that they broke the law. Based on the fact that they're wrongdoers. Based on the fact that it is the responsibility of us, right, to keep them from falling into error. Not their responsibility, right? It's the responsibility of the people to keep the government from falling into error, not the responsibility of the government to keep the people from falling into error. We have let them fall into error. Fall far, far into error. Whose fault? Our fault. For letting them dumb us down. For letting them take advantage. For letting them take advantage of our minds. By putting us into public institutions. Wherein they certainly weren't going to set us free. And tell us about the contracts of bondage that they had placed us in. Through deception. I mean, come on. It's pretty obvious to me. It's not conspiracy theory. It's so fucking obvious, I can't stand it theory. And then once you get pounded with that for 12 years, yeah, guys like me sound insane. That's why. Go get your own damn information. All I can do is show you the door. You cannot pay for your birthright. You cannot pay somebody to write your letters for you. You got to understand this stuff yourself. And if you're too fucking lazy to do it, then may your chains set lightly upon you. Not hard. I mean, just not hard. Okay, so you got all the information every time I come here. You should be able to do stuff on your own. The main thing, like get Kurt's library under your belt. Start looking up definitions of words. Start understanding the big concepts. Start understanding the legal maxims. Start understanding how to set yourself free and get out from under the horror of Babylon. Start cracking the code. Start understand. Oh, that's the other book I should have grabbed. Because we got the other one. Same guy, Cracking the Code. Good book. Anyway, not hard. Yeah, why don't you take that pot right there? Why don't you do the dishes? Are you out of hot water? Is that what you're trying to say?
I didn't want to use it all of it up. So I just decided I'd boil some.
All right, well, take that pot right there and clean it. The one right there. And you can do a whole lot more at a time. He's making himself a calcium bentonite bath. How come calcium bentonite? Anyway, yeah, pretty simple, right? And like I said, it's because we fucked up the rain. But anyway, the point being is that Cracking the Code was another one of these books that you could read, and that explains the bullshit of the USC 26 in an afternoon, 4 hours of reading if you're reading what they call elementary reading. And see, that's the other thing. You can photo read it and then elementary read it and then activate it. There's no right way to do it. In fact, that's the whole thing. Get your judgment out of the way. Get all of that stuff out of the way so your subconscious mind can function and so that you can have a dialogue with your subconscious mind using your conscious mind. And bam, you'd be amazed at what's in there. And if you activate it correctly, and if you do the steps that they talk about in the photo reading book, wow, you guys are going to be monsters. And it's not that hard. It was a 3-day seminar, like in 24 hours, right? 8 hours a day, basically. They teach you how to photo read. This book is cheap. You can buy them on anywhere online. And then they talk about, there you go. There's a statement of purpose I was talking about. And then they talk about how to do mind maps, which is basically how I take notes anyway. Except I don't do mind maps the way they do mind maps. Right? I write and take notes all over the place. And anyway. One last thing. And then for sure we quit. For sure. Enough, you guys. You can only stand so much at a time. And 3 hours is pushing it. So you can do it in two bites. And what is it? The amount of knowledge you can give is limited by the amount of seat the ass can take. All right. 30, 60, 90. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. There's your season again. Just so happens this is a perfect triangle. 1, 2, and then you write to 3. 2, 3, always 3. Again, your first letter, your second letter, your third letter. Even if you're doing notarial protest process, 21, 10, 3. But anyway, 30, 30, 30, 30, 60, 90. So you can let it season up. So anyway, there's 1, 2, 3. And we're going to call that 3, 4, 5. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. This is, it's all encoded in there. The lawful process also. That's on this other one. Yeah, we're going to leave it. But just understand, it's threes, it's laws of 3, 6, and 9. It's the law of threes. It's a season. It's those three things always: the GOD, the generation, the operation, the destruction. You'll see it everywhere once you understand the concept and once you understand the Hermetic principles. It's all there. There's also much more to go over on this, but I'm going to leave it. But just if you can remember that perfect triangle, and just remember 30, 60, 90 whenever you're dealing with these guys. Figure out what to say, figure out who to say it to, tell it 3 times, let it season up, and proceed. Right? And then once you've done that, like I said, you're not going to be in constant fights. You're not going to be right because they are not. If you're standing on your square and there is no injured party, they aren't going to write bills of attainder on you because they know they can't. Okay, it's not going to be a constant battle and a constant fight, right? it's going to be the exact opposite of that. No confrontation, no contest, no issue. Have a nice day. But not until you get your paperwork done in advance. Because if you're going to stand there on the side of the road talking about how you don't consent and how you're a sovereign, they're going to use this money magic right here to take it away from you. Because you're entangled in the web. Right? What's in the Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings, what does the little person do? Gets bit by the spider? The black spider, Shelob? And how does Sam free Frodo? Oh, with Sting, with the sword, with the law. Breaks all those, right? He was all wrapped up and had been poisoned. Right? And what color are the cloaks of the elves? The green mantles. The whole story. And all it was is various chapters telling the various stories of the Masonic story, of the one true story, and drilling down into some of the stories where the sons of the Masons, the sons of the spider, and what happens when the common man, right? And how even just a little bit of light scared them away. Because the thing that I didn't like about the movie as compared to the book is those two little hobbits with that sword and that light back Shelob right off. Right? And then how did they get when they got him when he wasn't looking? Bit him, right? And tried to carry him away. Right? But one more time, how did Sam puts the ring on? What? Using the contracts and the sword, goes up and gets his master. Anyway, it's all allegory, and you got to start to learn how to read these allegories and start to understand all the different. But see, you'll never get the allegories, and you'll never get the stories that they tell until such time as you start learning the maxims and what the words mean, and the parables and the stories, so that you can recognize it in other forms. Because it's the same story over and over again. It's the same story. And then who was Tolkien's friend? And he wrote Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. C.S. Lewis told the story again from a different perspective. And guess what? The lion is associated with the sun. I mean, and of course, you guys want to throw in the Christ story on top of that. But these guys were giving you the one true story in allegory form in Fantasyland. These guys give you the one true story from the Christian perspective. You pick up the Quran, that's the one true story from the Islam, from the Muslims. You pick up the Talmud, and that's the one true story from the perspective of the Jews. And all three of those stories is one story given to you by the Khazarian mafia in order to pacify and offer you here on the prison planet. And they took the whole thing over. There was a time when many, many of us were free, didn't use their Babylonian money magic, lived pretty much harmoniously. And the Romans came and colonized the whole thing using the brotherhoods. We've been over this. So you want out from under that, you got to understand the codex. And then you got to be able to apply the codex. You got to move. Okay, then. Enough. I will talk to you guys again soon. Again, happy Feast of Ishtar. Maybe you read the book of Ruth. Maybe you read Esther. Maybe you get Jasher. Maybe you understand Noah. Oh, crap. One last thing. Noah. Here's one. Okay. How did he do it? 2 by 2. So learn the zodiac. Taurus, Aries and Libra. Pisces and Virgo. Aquarius and Leo. Those are the opposing signs. Capricorn and Cancer. Sagittarius and Gemini. Scorpio and Taurus. They oppose each other. right? And then understand that the signs also oppose each other when it comes to the elements of earth, wind, air, and fire. Well, here, I'll put it this here. I'll just show it to you one more time. Just study this. It is worth your time to study and understand the oppositions and so forth. And then understand it. Oops, I erased it already. The triangles. And understand the, what is it called? It's called, medical astrology is what it's called. Turns out there's something to it. And now I know why. It's not magic. It's not hocus pocus. It's not hokum. It's Moorish science. It's a thing. And knowing the time and place of your birth and entrance onto the prime material plane actually does say a lot about you. So Pisces, you're going to have trouble with your feet. Cancers, you're going to have trouble with your stomach, etc. Aries, you're going to probably have trouble with your heads. The ram. Right? But I mean, the idea being is that it's a thing. So you study these things exactly because they tell you not to study them. You eat the meat exactly because they tell you not to eat the meat. Right? You eat no blood. You torture no animals, but meat. Why are they trying to replace the meat? Right? And don't feed your animals that rely on meat vegetables. That's the height of stupidity. You can give them protein substitutes and supplements if you are so inclined because you're so crazy about this. But go look at nature. Nature eats nature. Fish eat fish. Lions eat meat. Ooh, what do lions eat? Anyway, enough of this. But the idea being is everything that they've told you not to study is probably what you should study. And the zodiac contains huge amounts of knowledge. And it's pretty clear that the Christ was knowledgeable. And it's pretty clear to me that most of the quote-unquote elite illumined families, their children get all of this knowledge by the time they're like 12 or 13. And more. Meantime, us, we get like a second grade education. And then they tell us how smart we are. Take it easy, Crime Stoppers. No more schooling. Time for education. No more swimming in schools with other fish. Time of Pisces over. Carry your own water. Be very, very, very discerning about what you put in that water jug. And then drink deeply. Okay. E pluribus unum. I'll talk to you in a week.